Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Walking Shadow, episode 30. We are, as you can see, short a few people, but
Only like half of them.
that just means that we are back to our original cast. For now. I think Mara might be asleep. If Mara comes in, we'll shuffle her in. But anyways,
Definitely bring her.
I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films, and so Mara, I don't know. Michelle is not feeling well. William is at work. So you got us. You got the A team. Anyways,
you Jack. Guys are all so much more confident in your importance.
There's Jack. He's the storyteller.
I'm not the executive producer.
No, I'm the executive producer. You're the storyteller.
Yes, I'm Jack. I'm the storyteller for Walking Shadow, our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. And to introduce you to our delightful and fantastic OG, we're going to start with Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm playing Naomi, the Malkavian, who now can enter the spirit world.
And Raphael.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Raphael. I play Lysander, the Ravnos Rogue.
And John.
I'm John, and I play Gabriel Adelmar, the Tremere Warlock.
And only a few hours of the night have passed since Isla's return with some unique intelligence regarding the betrayal of the Tremere and their attempts to summon Nisku from wherever he lurks. Last time we were here, she came back with lots of interesting information while everybody was trying to figure out exactly what was going on. This was on the heels of Naomi having spent the day apparently traversing the astral plane, being drawn in spirit form outside the city of Seattle to somewhere in the southern reaches of the region, and finding an imposing edifice of a hospital of some sort with a faint familiar aura of insanity lurking about it. Isla returned later that following evening, having been dropped off by Lysander's missing sire, was apparently co-opted and controlled by the forces behind the murders that the group has been investigating since these adventures began, and seemingly partially broke from her ensorcelled conditioning at the hands of the warlocks and managed to contact Isla as the closest accessible member of his coterie of vampires. But apparently the blood harvested from these various murders is to be used to corrupt Green Lake in the northern part of the city and serve as a focus for the summoning of this ancient and chaotic individual who's only vaguely referenced in vampiric occult lore at best. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Lysander, having managed to get his finances in order and purchase the vehicle that he was trying to acquire on previous evenings, is driving to a meeting place. A supposedly abandoned warehouse that serves as the headquarters for a group of individuals called the Knuckle Draggers, a group of muscle for hire that was recommended to Lysander by his Lieutenant Reinhardt, who serves as his eyes and ears in other parts of the continent. So, Lysander, you pull up to this exterior, and there's a few floodlights on the outside. The parking lot is mostly empty. Looks to be the sort of place where shipments will come in and be deposited for storage and redistribution during more economically profitable times. Currently, however, there's chains and locks on all the exterior entrances that you can see. The windows appear to have been boarded over from the inside. And of the numerous exterior lights. Only a couple are turned on, probably to dissuade loiterers and indigent individuals who might otherwise lurk or attempt to enter this facility. What do you choose to do?
All right. So I'm assuming at this point I'm still going to be in my car.
Mhm.
So at this point, Lysander would have probably placed his weapons in the corresponding location. So he's going to open up his glove compartment, grab a pistol from there and put it in his pocket, make sure all his knives are in place. Then he's going to close that, get out the car, close it up, lock it up. And then he's just going to see where where most of the lights are at that would probably direct him to an entrance would be, and he's just going to start walking there. As he does that, he's going to grab a cigarette, light it up, and start smoking it on the way there.
All right. Give me perception and investigation, difficulty 7.
Dumb and probably irrelevant question. Do cigarettes require a courage roll?
Not really, no. Mm-mm.
Cool.
Not
Two
if you're
successes.
the one doing it. Now, if somebody lights up a cigarette when you're not expecting it, then they do, but it's usually a fairly low difficulty. With 2 successes, you take a quick circuit of the building. Everything seems to be in a very tightly secured sort of situation. You're not seeing much that looks like an accessible entrance until you get around the back of the building and you find a door without any particularly visible security except for an electronic keypad mounted next to it with a blinking red light.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to it. And I'm just going to knock on it. It's going to be like, I heard you like to drag knuckles around here. You for hire?
So as you knock on the door, it thuds very dully. If it was a regular metal door, you'd expect that sort of hollow ringing sound, especially with the amount of force that you can put behind something as simple as a physical blow. Giving you the idea that this is either heavily padded or extraordinarily reinforced.
Okay.
And there's no answer initially.
Okay.
You glance around, trying to see if there's any sort of exterior camera or something that might have picked up your approach or your call. Doesn't look to be anything.
Okay.
All you have is a keypad with some smudged numbers, a couple of them kind of faded out, and an extraordinarily sturdy entrance.
Okay. So I'm going to take a look at the keypad.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell what numbers are smudged out?
The 3, the 7, and the 0.
Okay. And would Lysander know if this would just be like a standard keypad that would usually take 4 numbers to get it to access entry?
Give me a intelligence and larceny check, difficulty 6.
Okay. What was the difficulty?
6.
All right. 0 successes.
Yeah, it's not a model you're familiar with. It's a little newer than the stuff that you've usually seen around town and worked with in any sort of recent history.
Okay.
4 digits would probably be a decent guess, but you're not entirely sure.
Okay. So I guess what Lysander would do, just I guess try to randomly get in, is try to put in a random combination with 3 smudged numbers and end it with 0. So I'm just gonna say 7310. He tries putting that in.
Oh, okay. So you key in the 4 digits. There's a beep, and the red light doesn't change color.
Okay.
But kind of muffled, and from definitely within the keypad, a voice under a crackly sort of static speaker system immediately kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, are you? What you want then?
I'm looking for the knuckle draggers. I have a job for you.
Who sent you?
Reinhardt.
Hang on, mate, Gov. You'll wait about 3 or 4 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear a bolt shoot at the same time that their the light on the keypad changes from red to green,
Okay.
and the door shifts open just the tiniest fraction of a centimeter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No response, no reply. But the
All
door
right.
is definitely unlocked.
All right, so before I go in, I'm just going to open my shirt up a little bit more, just in case I need proof. If they're trying to figure out if I'm a member of the Purple Snake or of the Court of Lavender, if they know about that much, if at all. And then I'm just going to make sure all my weapons are handy and in place, and then just open the door.
Okay. So you push the door open, and there's a hallway in front of you, probably about 30 feet long, with a number of. It's a drop ceiling with tile and a number of fluorescent inset lights. Only one of which is functional and is just sort of only half lit, with a little bit of a flicker to it. And then there's another door at the far end and a couple of side doors leading in. The door at the far end looks to have been installed much more recently than any of the 4 side doors, 2 on each side, have been.
Okay. Is there any immediate presence?
Nope, nobody there.
Okay. Take a pull of a cigarette, blow it. Walk in a little bit more.
Okay. The door you came in will shut behind you, and you'll hear the bolt shoot back.
Okay.
And as you glance over your shoulder to look at it, there's definitely some heavy padding and welded metal on the back end, also covering some of the interior of the door joint. There's enough to let it swing open, but yeah, this has been hand reinforced as best as you can with more or less heavy chunks of scrap metal, but it would take a beating.
Yeah. Would it take an explosion?
Possibly.
Okay. Lysander, seeing this, he would just say, bomb-proof. I like it. And then just continue to walk towards the direction if there's any light towards the light.
Okay. Yeah, the light bulb is probably about 5 feet away from the door at the far end.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get underneath it, you hear a faint whining electrical sound, kind of like something either clicking on, almost the same sort of sound that you can kind of hear in the dog whistle range when you turn on an old TV.
Yeah.
And the door in front of you shoots back. It's a slider.
Okay.
And it just whoosh, open. Leading into a much larger room on the interior of this warehouse.
All right. I guess I'll just keep on walking in.
As you come in here, this one is a little better lit, and you're looking around. The interior actually looks like it's been subject to some level of upkeep. And there's a pair of men further down who are sitting at a table, apparently playing cards, with a number of bits of technology around them. You can spot even from this distance some radio equipment, small bank of surveillance television television screens, and a couple of computers set up. Right now, they seem to be in the middle of a hand to Texas Hold'em, though.
Okay. I'll just.
But they glance up at you as you come in.
Okay.
Give me a perception and alertness, difficulty 8.
Alright. Three successes, 6 if it says in the back of my head.
It is definitely eyes in the back of your head.
Mhm.
And as you come in, you kind of give a quick glance of the surroundings, and in your peripheral, you can see somebody lurking in a much darker area. And you, of course, with that fluorescent light behind you, are fairly well silhouetted as you come in, holding something that definitely looks like a combat shotgun.
Okay.
Not making any threatening moves at this point. It is generally trained in your direction, but he doesn't have it like shouldered and aimed at you.
Okay, got it.
But
Alright.
he seems to have been ready, should the
Okay.
need arise.
Got it.
Yeah, and the guy who's in the dealer's chair at the moment just kind of waves you over.
Alright. I'll walk towards.
So what's your name then, boyo?
Lysander. Not sure if you've heard that name around.
He gives a nod. Well, you snakeheads have paid fairly well in the past. Got a contract.
Rather nice one, I should say.
Is this a target or a... we got some longer term work on our hands?
Let's just say that there's an immediate problem at hand. And that people who are good with guns and can take a few hits. That can help me out with the situation.
Fair play then. And what's the going rate you planning?
Okay, so I would assume that Lysander probably before heading up to this location would probably contact Reinhardt about a bank where he would be able to get cash funds
Okay.
to be able to what's it called? Bring the payment should the need arise. And so he is going to open up his coat and pull out a bag, and then he's going to toss it to the dealer.
Okay. Roll me your resources pool. Difficulty 5.
Okay. Two successes.
Oh, crack it open. 2,000 a head, eh? Well, as in pay, that'll get you 2 days' work. We'll need more if you want us longer than that, though.
I think 2 days will be just fine.
Reasonable. Where we headed?
So I would probably give him the address to my domain. I'm
Okay.
saying, and then I'll just be like, before we head out, I just need to contact one of my people to make sure everything's all right and make sure we're actually going to that location, just in case the location didn't show up. If that's all right with you.
Make your calls.
And then I'm gonna
We'll
call
get
up
the lads set.
All right. And then I'm gonna call Gabriel.
Okay. So, Gabriel, just as you guys have sort of come to this point in your discussion, your phone rings, and it's Lysander.
I put the map down, pull out my phone. Where are you?
I got some help. Where are we headed?
Tell them to station, if this is the kind of help I think it is. Tell them to station themselves. around Green Lake.
Got it. And then I'm going to hang up. I'm going to say, we're going to Green Lake.
Right then, Gav. All right. Let's see. Nelson, Declan, get your kits together. Arnold, I guess you'll do with what you carry. Get in the van. We're meeting our new boss out front.
All right.
And he'll just kind of give you a slightly mocking butler's gesture to the door that you came in at.
Okay.
While the other guys are starting to throw together a couple of go duffel bags. You see them crack open a few what looked like tool cabinets, but you're pretty sure are just weapons lockers, as they arm up and prepare to roll out.
Okay. Oh, this should be fun then. And then I'm just going to walk out, head to my car, and then just wait for him.
One of the garage doors will pan open, and just a bright pair of headlights in a white van will come out, pull up. You're facing one direction, they pull up facing the other direction, and the man you were speaking to rolls down his window. Lead the way, boss.
All right. And then I'm just going to start heading towards Green Lake.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the apartment. What are you trying to arrange, Gabriel?
So, Lysander has gotten us apparently some muscle. I'm going to meet them up at Green Lake and give them a assignment. Just on the off chance that the information Isla acquired is genuine. I still think we should investigate that hospital, though. We have the manpower to try both places. And yes, I know the hospital is outside the city. I'm going to see if I can't make arrangements for us to be allowed out. Hopefully, one of these locations is a ruse and not both of them. And
all right.
When Aaron gets back to their seat, I would ask Naomi to. I like how both of them took off.
I know, right?
I would ask Naomi to dig more into that hospital between now and when I get back. So
Okay.
and then I'll head up to Green Lake. And as I'm heading up to Green Lake, I'm calling Jimmy.
Okay. Well, you don't get any complaints or alternate plans from anybody immediately. So yeah. So you're driving up to Green Lake. Are you going to try and take Isla with you, or are you just going to let her sit?
I'll let her stay back just in case she. I'll let her stay here with them just in case something comes up in your mind.
Okay.
There's Aaron.
Okay.
So I don't know when you walked away, but Lysander called.
When I put a thing in the chat telling you I'd be right back because I needed to check on something.
I didn't see that because I'm working on 3 things at once.
Okay, I was mostly telling the GM.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's why I said I didn't see that because I don't know when you left.
But
anyways,
yeah. Go ahead and.
Lysander called. You heard me saying, "Where are you?" and then send them to Green Lake. And then after hanging up, I said, Lysander has apparently managed to procure us some muscle. I think our best plan should be to have people watching Green Lake while we go investigate this hospital. Yes, I know it's outside the city limits. I'm going to see if we can't get access outside. In the meantime, Naomi, if you would please, look a little bit more into that hospital and see if you can find anything unique about it. While I go meet our contractors at Green Lake.
Are the other people still here?
Yes.
Naomi will. Alexander, you have more street contacts, correct? Could you see if there's anything about the hospital that you can pull up?
Well,
And then
most
she'll
of them
grab
are,
a
of
computer.
course, within the city, not outside. But I will see what I can find.
And then I asked Isla to stay here just in case anything else comes to mind. And then
Oh, and I wanted to do an insanity check on Isla, because she brought up that she's doing things in a way that she doesn't feel like she should be.
Mhm.
Naomi wants to see if there's like an instinct for if her instinct for madness is, if her madness equivalent of a gaydar is pinging for Isla right now.
madness radar.
Madness equivalent of gaydar. I love that term. Okay. In that case, Naomi, give me a wits and empathy. Difficulty 8.
3 successes, because that's my thing.
Yep. You're not picking up any crazy off of Isla. You're definitely picking up something's off. Something's off. Something has her bothered, but you're not gauging a level of madness to the extent that you would expect if somebody was actually undergoing a derangement of some sort, as you understand.
So, from Naomi's perspective, could someone's like mind or memories be fucked with without pushing them to derangement?
Best you would know. Give me an intelligence and occult difficulty.
Hasn't Naomi witnessed
Because Gabriel
7.
has mentioned that he can fuck with people's minds, and Naomi, I don't know if Naomi assumes that would also cause derangement.
Right. Yeah, difficulty 7 on that.
3 successes.
Yeah. You have a feeling that if it was, it could very easily be affiliated, but it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion.
Okay. Naomi will then just tap the sides of Isla's head twice.
She kind
Don't worry, you haven't flown too far just yet. We'll come over the text.
of... She kind of gives you a little bit of a look, but she's also a little bit used to you. So, okay.
Dear, don't worry. Peacocks might have wings, but they can't fly distances.
She'll nod and actually seem a little bit reassured by that.
So yeah,
And then she'll just kind of retreat into herself a little bit, looking very pensive.
Okay, then Naomi's gonna start researching this hospital a little more thoroughly.
Okay.
Especially given that she's seen some imagery of needle monsters, stuff like that. Malpractice lawsuits might be a good place to start, because those are public records.
Frequently, yes. But this is World of Darkness, so not always. Go ahead and give me a intelligence and computers roll, difficulty 7.
That was botch.
Okay. So, yeah, as far as records go, you are finding surprisingly little as far as Western State Hospital is concerned. You can't find a board of directors list. You can't find much beyond the occasional reference to a doctor, but only ever by title and last name, never a first name. You find a couple different doctors that are mentioned, but it's never anything more specific than Dr. Thomas, Dr. Wilson, Dr. Murphy, things like that.
Is there a place to sign up for appointments?
Yes, there is. You'll find
Okay.
your basic sort of, what sort of services we provide, patient check-in, patient application stuff.
Naomi will text, Gabriel, do you think Serenity needs a checkup?
I don't know. Why do you ask?
Because we're vampires. and I assume she's a little easier to... And Naomi will just turn around the hospital registration page.
She's also a doctorate. An MD.
I think humans with medical training still go to doctor's offices?
Yes, but typically they know when they need to. I'm not... What are you asking?
What kind of services are offered?
So it's a psychiatric ward with all the things that go along with that. Trauma and rehabilitation services, general sort of therapy and counseling is offered on a case-by-case basis. But being World of Darkness again, this is more the sort of place where if someone is incapable of living on their own, or if family or whoever they would generally live with is incapable of providing the level of care they need in home, this is where you send them. It's almost like an old school 1960s lunatic asylum.
Yeah.
Based on, couched in more approachable and appropriate terms, but it kind of has that vibe to it.
Less gothic, just as much asylum.
It's still a
Yes.
loony house. It's still a white house.
Naomi will say, I don't know, maybe her manipulative, abusive relationship has blossomed into a form of madness for which she needs some level of observation and might feel that she should check herself in.
If whatever's happening is going to be happening soon, I don't know if we have enough time to go through that elaborate of a setup.
You're really no fun.
Thank you. I leave.
I'm gonna text Serenity and see if she wants to do it.
Okay.
I don't tell her Gabriel said no.
I text Serenity and say, if anyone texts you anything, if anyone asks you to go into an insane asylum.
Aaron's character is going first. You have to get to the car and you have other things on your mind. I'm making a rule.
And also, how the hell do you know I'm doing this?
Gabriel just has a feeling.
No.
Okay. Okay,
which is
Gabriel, give me a wits and empathy difficulty 8.
Okay.
I'm fucking insane. Nothing I do follows
You
your
need at least
sense
3
of
successes.
logic.
0 successes.
You have no idea that this might be what she was planning to do.
Fine. I just,
Because Naomi still has harmless, and she's still crazy and hard to read.
I'm not gonna hurt her. Naomi will text Serenity. So we found an asylum that we suspect may be connected to these events. I was hoping with your medical background you might be able to get some additional insight. And she'll give... In addition, one way we might be able to access the facility is having someone pose as a patient. As you can imagine, the core of our group would not be able to accomplish such a deception.
Give me a manipulation and expression difficulty 7.
Naomi is trying so hard to sound like a sane person and communicate clearly to these stupid sane people what she wants of them. Difficulty 7.
Yep.
3 successes.
Serenity will text back. Might could do that. What's the name of the place?
Blue Horn Hospital or whatever.
Right, yeah. Western State Hospital. Right.
No.
Yep. And she'll text back, let me look into it. I'll let you know. Gabriel, you are driving north, calling Jimmy.
Well, first I want to call Lysander.
Okay.
Now that he's here.
Lysander, you've just pulled into the parking lot at Green Lake, and your phone rings. It's Gabriel.
I pick up. Talk to me.
These hired men, vampires or not?
Nope.
Okay.
Not vampires.
I just need to know.
Got it.
I'll be there in a bit.
All right. Before you hang up,
Yes,
is there anything I need to be updated on?
I will update you when I get there.
Fair enough.
Alright.
And I'll hang up.
Now
Okay.
I'm calling Jimmy.
Okay. First ring, Simon answers. Hello, Scourge.
Hello, Simon. I need to speak with Jimmy.
He is almost done.
Okay.
Okay, now he's done. Gabriel, what can I help you with?
Jimmy, we have a lead. We have a couple of leads that we need to investigate, and I'm going to need some assistance.
Okay.
First one.
What do we got?
First one, and we have a couple of hired hands helping us with this one. Is the phone going off? No. We've received information that there may be
Simon, I hate that ringer. Change it. God.
We've received information that there may be some form of mystical event happening around Green Lake sometime tonight or soon.
Okay.
We're having some hired help post up around Green Lake to give us notification if they find anything or if they can take care of whatever it is.
Mhm.
The other one that we've received is information regarding Western State Hospital. Was it Western State Hospital?
Mhm.
Yeah. Western State Hospital, which is outside the city boundaries if the city is still locked down.
It is, and it is.
Yes. It's the people behind these murders may be involved with that hospital somehow. They may also be planning something at Green Lake. We're spreading ourselves a little bit, but we do need to investigate both areas. I just need to be able to get outside of the city.
Uh-huh. Well, WSH, it's down in Lakewood, isn't it? Yeah. As far as boundary breaking goes, we'll probably have to get Jameson's approval on that. He's got a crap ton on his plate with the Sabbat. Do you really think leaving the city is tactically the best decision for the new Scourge at this time?
If the source of our problems is outside the city, we're not going to solve them by staying within the city lines.
True. If the source of our problem is outside the city, though, it's going to be that much more difficult for them to affect the city, which is where our primary concern is, however. Yes?
Potentially.
I mean, granted, Nisiku being in Seattle is much worse than Nisiku being on a small town, one city away from Seattle, and still not great, but better. You see where I'm coming from.
No, I certainly do.
And it's easy if he is down in Lakewood or wherever, it's going to be a big job harder for him to get into the city from outside than if he just posts up inside the city. So I'd be more inclined to personally at least ensure that the first one doesn't happen before I start worrying about the second one happening. Is there more information here that I'm missing, or?
The information source that we received are one of our, both, now I think about it, aspects of both bits of information freely broke through the city border.
Huh. How? Do you know?
By driving.
Wait, what? How do we know that?
Isla told us that Lysander's sire drove her out of the city.
I thought she's... Sorry.
She said that she drove her out of the city.
No, Isla told
Can
you
you
that.
clarify?
Yeah, no, Isla told you that she was driven to the south of the city, not out, not south,
Okay,
out of the city.
I heard south out of the city. My bad.
Oh, okay.
And then also state hospital.
No, state hospital is definitely
Okay.
outside the city.
Naomi
then-
didn't tell
then-
you why she thinks that.
Then
Just that she does.
then that was. Never mind. I couldn't have made that statement. I misheard
Right.
what I was told.
That's okay. Retcon that back. That's fine.
Um. Oh, that was
Yeah,
the
basically he's asking, okay, so you've got a link outside the city,
Yeah, yeah.
but why do you personally want to follow up on that one rather than following the link first that is inside the city?
the information we received based around Green Lake doesn't feel right. It's still something that we should guard against, but from everything that we've experienced thus far on this investigation, the information we received runs counter to that.
Okay. So this is one of those procedural crime shows where the detective is like, I'm going with my gut. I don't have the best evidence, but I'm going with my gut.
Sort of. The accusations made regarding Green Lake don't make sense. It's still
Okay.
potentially an issue, but based on everything we've learned, it's as if you were in the middle of an investigation and you had been compiling evidence over the course of weeks and months, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, some sort of miraculous bit of information came to you indicating not only exactly who was behind the problem you were investigating, but also where they would be and what they were after. And it just so happened to run counter to almost everything that you had previously found yourself. Would you believe it?
That would depend on if the source was reliable and how easy those names were to run down. What names do we have?
Actually, the only name we have is Diane.
Nope.
What other name do we have?
Clan Tremere.
That's not a name. That's a clan.
They could still be run down.
What's
names,
the
though.
name of is the Diane's the name of your side?
Diana.
Diana?
Mm-hmm. Diana, Taryn, Logan.
A Ravnos named Diana Terran Logan.
So,
That's
Doesn't ring a bell, but
that's Lysander's
I-
fire.
do you have like a Ravnos?
Yes.
I assume
is-
somehow affiliated with
Yes.
Lysander.
It's Lysander's sire, previously presumed dead. She apparently showed up out of the blue, abducted our ally Isla,
Hmm.
and told her this elaborate plot about how the people behind the killings were planning on corrupting Green Lake by dumping all of the blood they found into the lake to resurrect Nisaku.
Now that sounds like it's a little more your wheelhouse than mine, the whole blood magic maneuvers, but and the people behind, that's all the titles you got? No other defining features?
Supposedly, the entirety of my clan, or at least large percentages of my clan. I'm certainly not in on it.
Right. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that for now.
Meanwhile, no evidence we've encountered at all up to this point has pointed towards any member of my clan.
I thought you said that the killings themselves had blood magic ritualistic implications, possibly.
Theoretical, but none that I'm familiar with, and none that I've been able to discover.
Okay. Give me a manipulation and empathy roll, difficulty 7, Gabriel.
Okay. Zero successes, but not a botch.
Okay. All right. I can't back you up on this plan that you have. So, obviously, you report to Cunningham right now, but just know if you break bounds, which I am willing to help you with, and it blows up in your face, this is definitely your ass on the line.
Fair enough. Also,
Okay.
if large portions of my clan are planning to corrupt Green Lake, I don't know that I can stop them or my small coterie can stop them by ourselves.
Yeah, no, trust me. I'm going to get Simon to pull some boys together and see what we can find up that way. And God, who am I going to have to talk to? But yeah, just in the interest of preservation. But yeah, don't spread yourself too thin, obviously. But God, work on your priorities.
Trying to solve this issue and stop the madness is currently my number one priority.
All right, I'll leave it up to you.
All right.
Your call. Best way to get you out of the city will be in a recognized vehicle. 2. How many people are you taking south with you?
Right now, I'm not 100% certain. I know myself, likely Lysander, potentially Naomi. I'm not certain about the rest.
I'll get you a van. I'll have an intersection for you in about 30 minutes.
All right.
Okay, well, best of luck.
You too. And continue on to Green Lake.
Okay. When you arrive there, you see Lysander's car that he had been looking at when you guys were all at the used car lot. It's there, parked in one of the parking lots. There's also a 15-passenger white van a couple spaces away with its headlights on.
I adjust my hat,
Okay.
adjust my vest and everything. Get out of the car, close the door, walk over to Lysander's.
Lysander
Gabriel.
pulls the,
Yep.
Lysander pulls the window down. So, you like it?
How well are they going to stand up against magical attack from a clan of vampire warlocks?
I don't know all about that. All I know is that they're just good with that they're good with weapons, and they can last a little while longer than most normal people would.
I hope they can. I don't have sinus fluid, but I have a headache.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So, here's what we know. By the way, brace yourself. Your sire is apparently alive.
That part I knew.
Legitimately, apparently she made contact with Isla. And informed us that apparently a good portion of my clanmates are in league with Nisuku and are planning on dumping all the blood they've been collecting into Green Lake and corrupting it to summon forth or resurrect Nisuku.
What? That's... Hold on. Lysander's gonna roll his windows up, he's gonna turn off the car, then he's gonna step out of the car so that he can be up face to face. Run that by me again. What?
It doesn't make much sense. But, apparently, the entirety of my... Or not the entirety, a large portion of my clan. Not the entirety. A large portion of my clan are in league with Nisuku, have been keeping your sire under mind control for who knows how long, and are planning on dumping all the blood they've received from these killings into Green Lake to corrupt it and resurrect Nisuku, or bring back Nisuku, or summon Nisuku, or do something to Nisuku.
Alright.
Also, we've discovered some connection, somehow, to a hospital south of the city, Western State Hospital.
Okay.
I do not. I have reason to not take the information we've received at face value, primarily it coming from your sire. Secondarily, nothing we've found previously indicating something like this, except the potential of a blood magic ritual.
I mean, this is a big enough place to make a ritual that extravagant, but I don't really trust Diana myself either. It's been 5 years. She's lied to me all that time. Or maybe she hasn't.
Well, either way, I believe that we can probably find answers if we investigate this hospital. Both Isla, for some reason, wrote the name down. She doesn't know why. At least I don't think she said she knew why. Yeah, and she just wrote it down. She didn't say anything about it.
Interesting.
Also, she's concerned that something may be wrong because she just spouted all of that information out verbatim in the apartment out loud, when previously she'd been intending to not do that. And she had already said not to trust anything she said after she took off, so.
Interesting.
But she did write down the name of the hospital, a hospital that Naomi had indicated something about prior to her returning.
And this is outside of the borders.
Which would make sense as to why we haven't been able to find a strict pattern. If there's no central point, if they're leaving the city every time.
That would make a little more sense. How the hell are we going to get out, though?
Jimmy's working on it. He's going to get us a van.
Good.
But, to cover our bases, Jimmy and Simon is apparently going to gather some people to watch the lake. I would like your people to watch the lake too and report to us if anything, well, if armed men start dumping blood by the gallons into it.
All right. Call Simon, let him know I have people.
I've already told Jimmy.
Got it. And I'm going to start heading up to the van to tell everyone to start getting into their places. I'm assuming it would be just to start surrounding the lake. It's just having people in specific places.
Mm-hmm. There's 4 guys that are members of the Knuckle Draggers, and they can cover a section of the shoreline and have fairly decent sight lines for most of it. Green Lake is big, though, as far as civil bodies of water go. They've got night vision, they've got all the specs, and they're all kitted out. But they're Luke will tell you, who's the guy you've been talking to, Luke Rediker, that, I mean, they're here and they're happy. They've accepted your payment and they're gonna do their job. But this is a little more than 4 guys can feasibly cover by themselves.
Don't worry about that. We have a few more people coming to help us out. A couple friends of ours. Don't be too scared. They're not going to do anything to you. Adelmar.
You have photos or IDs for him?
Adelmar. You want to explain it?
I walk over. You don't have to worry about watching.
You're serious?
Oh. Don't. It's just because he looks like that doesn't mean he's dangerous. You ever heard of Jack the Ripper? Yeah, exactly. Adelmar, speak.
Regardless, you don't have to worry about the other people we have watching the lake. All you need to worry about is looking out for people armed, in military gear, dumping canisters of liquid into the lake.
Some sort of domestic terrorism we got going on here?
Basically, yes.
More or less.
We're keeping an eye out for them, and we need to stop them.
I just don't want to put a bullet in a friendly's head if I can help it.
None of our people will be dumping liquid into the lake.
All right.
If you see them, call him, and if you think you can, engage. If there are too many, just keep an eye on them.
You 2 are the bosses, apparently. Will do. Declan, post up. Let's find some good sight lines.
Right. I walk back over towards our cars.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same.
All right.
Sounds good.
We'll meet back up at the apartment, and then we'll head. And then once Jimmy lets me know, we'll head out.
All right.
Right.
I'm gonna head into my car and I'm just gonna start going to the domain.
Same thing.
Cool. So you guys will drive south. Naomi, what have you been up to in the meantime?
You're muted.
You're muted. Sorry.
Naomi was going to ask Velma if she could reach out to her contacts in her clan, see if there's been any Green Lake or the hospital, any particular
References or anything
levels
like
of-
that?
if it was noisier than usual, references to it.
Okay.
They're information brokers. They might
right,
notice
yeah.
that.
They might know stuff. Yep.
And I realize Clan Tremere is always shady, but anything different shady.
She'll pull out her old lady phone and start very slowly composing a text.
I forgot she had
It's a ladybug.
that.
Naomi, give me a perception and alertness difficulty 6 reduced as necessary.
Okay. This is hearing, so it only. not
No,
that
this
it
is this is visual.
Oh, visual. Okay.
Yep.
Then it's the same because it doesn't go below 1.
It does not go below 1.
7 successes, 8 if it's tactical.
Okay, not tactical. Isla is fiddling with something wrapped up in cloth that she apparently found in her pocket. She's just kind of turning it over in her hands. She hasn't unwrapped it.
Gonna put a hand on Isla's hand.
She kind of jumps a little bit and looks at you.
Head tilt.
What?
Tap the hand that I'm sort of touching.
What she has is a small object, looks fairly flat, wrapped up in kind of a rag, fairly clean, but definitely sort of a scrap of cloth. Derek gave it to me. If I needed to get in touch with him. And she sort of just reflexively starts opening it. And
I'm gonna try and stop her.
Okay. Give me a... We'll just do this as a contested dex roll. So just roll your dexterity pool, difficulty 6. And I will do the same for her.
I hope this rolls. The character sheet's a little messed up, so if it's wrong, I'll redo it as something else.
Okay.
2 successes.
She got 2 successes as well. Ties go to the defender, so she...
But that is the wrong pool, so I do need to try that again.
You don't have 4 decks?
I have 4 decks. Oh.
Then that's the correct pool.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
your
that's
roll.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Mine is the one on the bottom. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mine
dumb.
as her. Yep. No, it's okay. So you go to clamp down just as the fold of cloth opens, and it's a small... It's like a hand mirror, but it's only like half of the mirror. There's sort of a jagged, broken edge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's vaguely a slightly gibbous moon sort of shaped mirror, where the concave, shallower arc is a lot more ragged and sharp. And she just kind of looks at it. Doesn't seem to react, doesn't seem to do anything. It's a broken piece of a mirror fragment. Give me on intelligence and occult. Difficulty 8.
Three successes.
3 successes. All right. It doesn't seem to register with Isla that this is particularly anything significant. It's apparently just a broken piece of glass, and she doesn't seem to. I mean, it was given to her with a stated purpose, but she doesn't know why or how it would do that or whatever. You, however, given the research you've been doing over the last few days and trying to sort of comb through your mind and figure out what all this Nisiku stuff is, you remember him being affiliated with the idea of a broken mirror. Whether it's like his charm or his icon or something like that. There's legends of a trickster type figure that wears different faces, but always has a broken mirror as part of his symbology. And as you're considering it, you even know that there's an elder of Malkavian clan. There's a power that they sometimes have that generally goes by the term of the Shattered Mirror. You don't know you can't remember what it does particularly, but there's definitely a link here somehow. And it's sort of chewing in an annoying way at the back of your mind. You don't know quite what to make of it, but
Naomi's on like one of her flashcards or something, absently drawing like the like and dislike buttons from YouTube. And handing that to Isla while texting. So your sire gave you this.
She nods.
No, like, circling or symboling on the card.
No, she's not looking at the card right now. She's just staring at this mirror.
What do you see?
She holds it up. Just me. Because for those who don't know, in this setting, it's only if you have a particular flaw that a vampire generally doesn't show up in a mirror very well. Or if you belong to a particular clan.
Not... Wonder.
What?
It's interesting symbology. You're a poet. What would a broken mirror mean to you?
She's going to have to roll intelligence and academics for that.
Hey, sane person, what's the normal way to think about this?
That is an excellent question.
I wouldn't call poets normal or sane.
She has a more academic understanding of the things that Naomi instinctively understands.
Madness, usually. Fracturing of the self, the break of the mind, the inability to accurately perceive what should be clearly evident.
Just a Malkavian.
I think this symbol and the one we're looking for might be very, very close indeed.
Well, I mean, Derek was supposedly under their influence for quite a while. Still probably is somewhat.
Gabriel has too much faith in his clan.
And as
And
a
I
slight
don't-
retcon, most of this conversation is happening in handwriting. She's writing things.
Okay,
back to
that's fine. If she's writing things by hand, Naomi will be responding not by text but by handwriting,
you. Okay.
because that's sort of a quirk thing. Naomi will. Has anyone seen Case Closed
Yes,
I have not.
or Magical Kaito?
I have.
I've seen the
do the-
Spanish version of that.
The yank on the face to pull away the fake face thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Are you doing that
it's
to Isla?
exaggerated to Isla, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She kind of jerks away a little bit. Ow. And that she does say out loud.
Naomi pouch. Face shaping. I wonder if this one's old enough. It might make sense that some of the abilities aren't things associated with mine anymore.
Give another intelligence and occult difficulty 6 for this one.
Four successes?
You do know, however, that Malkavians do have access to obfuscate as one of the clan discipline trees.
Yeah.
And that it's an illusion, of course, but that can very, very well serve. It's probably the easiest way to disguise yourself.
Naomi doesn't have any of that, but yes.
No, she don't, but she knows about it.
Though I assume grabbing the cheek and pulling on it, would Naomi consider that to be a way of determining if Isla is fake Isla? Or no?
Well, you've seen this gift employed not by a Malkavian but by a Nosferatu before. So you know that if you're subject to the concealment or the illusion, and you take a picture, your brain will still interpret that picture as your brain thinks that picture should be interpreted. But if you show it to somebody who was never in the presence of the person who is projecting the illusion, it's much more difficult for the illusion to carry over into the photograph as well.
Naomi's going to take a picture of Isla and send it to Lysander.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Lysander, you get a picture of Isla on your phone with the text "thoughts?" afterward.
Lysander's just gonna.
She looks a little shocked and a little pensive and a little uneasy.
Tap, tap, tap.
Lysander's gonna text back. She probably needs a drink and a nap. I don't know, and then just send.
Don't worry, the birds are still in your head. The birds are still in your head.
I'm writing all this down, right?
That's what Naomi says to Isla in response. Yep.
She'll sort of give a half smile and a nod. Meanwhile, Velma gives a very happy, satisfied sigh, having finally finished composing her text and sending it away.
Ooh, yeah.
And that is where we will take a break temporarily.
Well, Jack just disappeared from your screens. We'll be back in a minute with Mara back.
All right.
And we're back. And with
And we're back.
Mara.
Mara's here. Mara, who is playing
Thelma, the Nosferatu.
Knitting Champion.
Yes,
Yes. Yes, that.
mhm.
Okay. So,
It's yellow now and much
so
bigger.
Velma
looking.
is. Oh yeah, no, Mara's in the right place. Sorry, I'm looking at the Twitch channel over there, and for some reason I thought things had gotten transposed, but I am wrong. All right. So yes, Velma has sent off a questionnaire or a missive to the greater Nosferatu community in Seattle, looking for information on Tremere, Green Lake, Western State Hospital. So yeah, we'll see if anything comes back on that. And Gabriel and Lysander are on their way in their respective vehicles back to the domain. Gabriel, you're about halfway back when you get the text from Jimmy, who tells you 3rd Avenue in Boston as the intersection.
Right. Just so I know, text back. Time limit?
24 hours.
Text back. Will do.
All right. It is about 11 o'clock right now.
Okay, it's not too late. I'd like to make my call before because
Okay.
have we discussed when we're planning on going?
No one has told us that
haven't
Gabriel
gotten
has
that.
decided we're going.
Oh, okay,
Gabriel made this decision without consulting anyone.
got it. Okay, then never
I
mind. 'cause
said before I left, we need to go south, and that
Okay.
I would arrange passage out. Those were
Okay,
my
and-
words to everyone in the room.
All right. So
Alright.
that's what you guys have
That
heard.
doesn't.
Okay. In
Whether
that
or
case,
not
then
you
I'd
think that's
probably like to
true.
arrange. I'd like to call my allies in the hospital
Okay.
to arrange for some supplies to bring with us.
All right.
That's wise.
So go ahead and roll me. What do I want you to
Ooh,
roll on this one?
Something.
Manipulation.
have red on my-
Oh yes, no. The character sheet scripting has apparently gotten whacked out.
Oh, okay.
By the last
Well
time,
then.
yeah. Go ahead and roll me manipulation and allies, which will just be manipulation and add a 2 to the pool mod.
Okay.
Difficulty 6. And let me
Okay.
know how many successes you get.
All right, and it's 2, 6. Go. 4 successes.
All right. So you call, and your contact, who in this case, let me check one thing in the book. Okay. Yeah. So when you're saying supplies, are you talking?
I want bags of blood.
Okay. Yeah, with 4 successes, they will be able to. They can hook you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ask when you need to stop by.
I think I'm gonna assume that it's gonna take a little while to arrange things. So tomorrow night, early tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay. They say great, should be fine. Talk to Eduardo. He will get you set up.
Okay.
And that is at. I'm trying to remember. I feel like we had established which hospital that was.
No, we hadn't actually.
We
I don't
hadn't.
think we had.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to establish it real quick. Just now. All right. Yep. That is at Harborview Medical Center.
Okay.
Is where your connections are.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
you have gotten a road trip snacks lined up.
Yep.
For when you need them.
All right.
Right about now is probably when Gabriel and Lysander are getting back to the domain. Gabriel, are you stopping here or are you going straight for the van?
I'm stopping here
Okay.
to update people on the fact that I got a van to go.
Okay. So yeah.
Are we going tonight then?
So Gabriel and Lysander walk into the apartment.
Naomi's still probably poking at Isla.
Who
Alright.
seems more or less resigned to it at this point.
Yeah, Lysander's gonna be like, what is, am I missing something here?
Probably.
Yeah.
Broken
So
mirror.
Isla looks a
Naomi
little
will
shell-shocked.
Okay.
You've, of course, met Velma before. She was there at the safe house.
Mhm.
And Alexander is sort of... He seems a little lost in thought. He's kind of sitting off to one side with a slightly Byronic expression on his face.
Okay.
kind of gazing off into space a little bit. Yeah, he's in a quite an aesthetic arrangement, but definitely looks a little 1,000 yards starey at this point.
Okay. Lysander's probably gonna go back to his room to grab another pistol and leave out some food for Casper.
Okay, yep. Casper is just kind of wandering around, in and out.
Okay. I'm gonna go leave out something for him.
Did we leave the shotguns here?
Yes.
We left the sniper rifle here.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, you guys aren't missing any of your arsenal.
just wanna
It's
make
all
sure.
either here or it was in the car, and the car, of course, got liberated.
Yeah. So
Liber-
we have a van and permission. We have a van and basically 24 hours to leave the city and come back. Anyone who wants to go
The
can.
24 hours was to leave.
Yeah, we have. Well,
Coming back is your own affair.
I'm hoping to be back within 24 hours.
Okay.
Whether or not we are. Anyone who
I
wants.
ordered road snacks
Thank you, Velma.
that have to be. They'll get them by tomorrow night, though. Do we want to wait that long?
We might not be able to wait that.
Naomi will text. So I assume you've secured official permission.
Yes.
Can I insight check that?
Yep. Give me a wits and empathy. Gabriel, give me a manipulation and subterfuge. Difficulty 6 for both.
Two successes.
3 successes for if this is
If it's fast talking, 3 successes.
strategy.
It's neither fast talking nor strategy. Gabriel is not entirely lying. He's definitely there's something missing, but what he said is, at least according to his perceptions, more or less true.
Naomi. Well, then we should consider carefully. We do have responsibilities in the city, and given all of the information we have, it's possible that either or both of our avenues are red herrings.
It's true. We have people watching Green Lake, at least for now, with instructions to call if somebody comes up and starts dumping gallons of blood into the gallons of liquid into the lake.
And I'm assuming that if we're not in the city, we can't necessarily do anything about it if that happens.
How far out is the hospital from Seattle?
Several towns over.
Like the Jack. How far
Yep.
out is the
How long of a drive?
distance?
Lysander would be out of the room and
Yeah, like
getting
how,
into the
how
conversation.
long of a drive?
Drive wise, it's about an hour and a half.
Okay. That's not too bad.
I mean, assuming nighttime traffic and no rush hour and no accidents.
Yep.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, it's 11. So get there.
Yes. If something happens and we're outside the town, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to return immediately. If something were to happen and a large portion of my clan were to be performing arcane rituals at the lake, how confident are you that the small group of us could stop them? That's a genuine question.
Well, if you're asking the whole room, I'm not confident at all.
There.
We've already seen what you can do, and people with more age behind them can probably do things that are a lot worse.
I've seen you all bickering. You wouldn't take them on.
No, we wouldn't. But being able to respond to a threat, especially a threat that our only plan is watch and call us if something goes wrong, might be valuable.
Do you have
Attacking and fighting are never quite the most beneficial ways to go about things.
No, they're not. Do you have a better suggestion?
Stop pretending you can actually fly as a peacock.
I'm not.
Give me a wits and empathy.
No idea
Difficulty 7. Gabriel.
Okay. 4 successes.
Should I just?
Well, you can if you want, or I'll do it. I'll do it as well.
Peacocks are birds known for having a particularly fancy feather pattern. They're also birds that happen to be not flightless, but able to basically hop.
Yeah.
She's saying you're full of yourself and you're playing Icarus. To change it into an accessible metaphor.
Okay. If that was a helpful suggestion, I would. Do you have an actual suggestion, or do you want to preach at me?
We need to investigate. We need to determine what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I don't think that getting hired as the Scourge and then suddenly leaving the city, because even for good reason, is necessarily the best or most appropriate approach.
Okay. Or do we
I could
investigate?
send things to investigate. It would take them a while to get there, and it might take them a while to get back, but... Do we have a driver with this van? You.
Yes,
Well, we could just send you with them, and then you come back, and that'd be fine.
certainly. I'm more than willing to go on my own.
Okay.
I like the idea of being a little more subtle about it, trying to find out things from a diplomatic perspective as opposed... Actually, that's a good question.
This would be subtle.
Say we go there. What are we doing there? And if it's even one powerful vampire, let's ignore the possibility it's the entirety of the Tremere clan, because that seems hyperbolic.
A large portion of it. Keep having to.
What do we do? Imagine it's just one reasonably elder vampire.
We investigate.
What investigation are we doing there? Not light things on fire, investigating.
I have
How do we?
some I have some I have some ways to send spies in that will probably not be noticed because people don't notice the little things.
It's fine.
The small.
I like that plan.
That's absolutely fine. We can't investigate a location without... Or at least I can't investigate a location without going to it.
I wouldn't necessarily have to leave the city to go there. I didn't before.
And you said there was a giant scary needle monster.
Which would indicate that there's something to investigate.
Yes.
And
Well,
the way you
that-
investigate a giant scary needle monster is, of course, with the help of static monsters. Made of geometric madness.
Lysander's just gonna just be like, okay, so we don't have a lot of Malkavians down in New York. We have more crackheads. They're similar. Either way, what I'm getting from this is that you really don't want us to go, but there's no other way we can really figure out what's going to happen if we don't go ourselves. So either you pick up your rifle and go with us, or stay here and try to figure out what the hell is going on. All I know is that I'm down to go with Gabriel down there and figure out what the fuck is going on. Make your decision now.
Splitting our forces might actually be a good idea.
Fine.
Gabriel and Lysander, if you could go down there, looked at Alexander and Isla and their stupors. We might be able to hold things here. The tone doesn't come across because I'm texting you guys.
And just as a retroactive, because I think it's hilarious, I want an intelligence and streetwise difficulty 7. No, difficulty 7 for Lysander, difficulty 6 for Naomi.
Oh.
You only need 1 success.
Let me find Streetwise real quick.
Streetwise.
It's the one that's red.
Oh, I think it's listed as subterfuge.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
listed
it
as Subterfuge U. Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Difficulty 7, and I'm assuming no domain dice.
Difficulty 6 for you, difficulty 7 for Lysander, no domain dice.
Fuck. 0.
Okay.
Let's
You
see.
definitely believe Lysander.
Botch.
And Lysander thinks he's telling the truth as well. Okay, cool. That wasn't a botch, Lysander. That was just a straight failure.
Okay, just fail.
Yeah.
Cool.
In reality, there are a fuck ton of Malkavians in New York City, but you know.
You don't know that.
But you
think
guys
they're
don't know that.
crackheads.
But you think they're crackheads, yes.
Which means that statement is not false.
That statement is not false whatsoever. As far as
Yeah.
the people who are perceiving it believe.
Ooh.
I look over at Velma.
It was
Not
just
all
funny.
madness comes from Malkavians.
It's true.
You said you
Just
had
the
people...
best kind.
Yeah, just because we do it better doesn't mean it's not fair to acknowledge the lesser folk.
Look over at Velma. You said you had people that could go with us?
Not people, but yes.
Naomi.
I'm gonna start summoning them.
Okay.
I like
Your
where this is
face,
going.
this is great.
Roll me charisma and survival difficulty 6.
Okay, charisma and survival, and survival.
While you do that, I'm gonna go pick up some weapons.
And I can still spend willpower, right, for stuff.
We
How does
should-
that work?
Yes, you can spend a willpower for an automatic success on certain rolls.
Okay,
we
I'm gonna
should-
do that
This
because I
one,
want
this
these
one would
things.
allow because of your connection.
We
Alright.
we legitimately are going to investigate Lysander. We shouldn't need very much in the way of weapons.
All right.
well,
And what was it again?
Can never hurt.
Difficulty 6. Charisma and survival.
Charisma and survival.
I think what we have should be fine.
Do I add pool mods from
Alright.
No pool mod. Nope.
the? Okay, cool. And you said difficulty
6.
6. Okay, there we go.
What?
5 successes. 4 plus 1.
Okay.
The hell's about to happen?
Which are you calling? Because you can only call one
Um,
species at a time.
I can only call one species at a time. I'm going with the I'm going with the mice. That feels better. So yeah.
All right. So
See, when you said little friends, I thought that was a metaphor.
Nope,
Yeah.
not at all.
Velma is the
Wait.
worst kind of Disney princess. Let me tell you.
Wait,
Uh,
hold on. Wait, dude.
So Velma, Velma steps out onto the balcony, and you hear her give this oddly low-pitched squeak. And for a moment, little to nothing seems to happen. And then all of a sudden, over the course of about a minute and a half, mice just come crawling out of everywhere. And you can hear tiny little feet scraping. It's this weird, almost rainfall-like sound as they're climbing up the siding and the drain pipes, and they just swarm around her feet in a very orderly fashion. And there's about 75 mice now out on the balcony. And Velma bends down and holds out her hand, and one of the mice that looks a little larger than the rest of them crawls up into her hand and just kind of looks up at her.
Hi! Do you want to go on a trip?
I forgot Morcavians have animalism. Shit.
Nosferatu.
We don't get animalism. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Oh! You guys have that too. Makes
Wait,
sense.
2?
Yeah.
Yep.
I say look at
Ravenous.
Lysander.
Yeah. Ravnos can do that too. I just can't do it yet.
So I can talk
Give
to
me
you,
a
not you.
manipulation and animal ken roll, difficulty 6.
Okay. Animal can. That.
And are you speaking English, or are you trying to squeak back to him?
Probably squeaking back because that
Okay,
seems-
difficulty
yeah.
5.
So, yes, yeah. I say hi and then I start squeaking, unintelligibly.
Gabe,
Animal ken is another one of those that's messed up.
Ooh, one success.
One
Ga-
success.
Gabriel looks like he genuinely has no idea what to make of the situation.
Oh,
Probably the first time he's looked like that since you've all known him.
Lysander looks at him and just chuckles. He is a giddy little boy right now.
As
He
far
has
as
that look on
Out
Gabriel's
of
face.
curiosity, how is the cat taking this?
Casper.
I
don't know. I've talked to Casper.
Casper is prowling currently.
Okay.
Can I make an attempt to scoop up Casper?
Yes. Give me a dexterity and animal ken, difficulty 6.
You might not want to do that, Naomi.
I don't care.
Casper's claws are aggravated damage.
Yeah.
Casper is a bastet. Secretly.
No, I've actually aura checked Casper. I would notice.
Yep. Yes, you would.
It's happened recently.
Is that one of the ones that is missing? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It's animal.ken.
For our audience, some of the things are currently
The character
being
sheet's
weird.
messed up.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah,
didn't
the
see
character
that
sheet's
before.
broken.
Take care what the sheet is
Oh.
book.
Okay, I'm just gonna add the dots because it's not even showing up on the list.
Okay.
Actually, I
It
have
it
to
might be
go
on the
on
list,
it
but it
as
might just
a
be-
roll dexterity.
Oh no,
Difficulty
it's
6, you said?
it's just listed as animal kin on the list, even though it's broken on in the skills list.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, I
it
don't
is.
have any
Oh.
dots, and I can't get it to list. So
Okay, no worries.
Oh, should I have gotten one more dice then?
3
I
successes.
didn't notice that. I think I just did animal ken. Oh well.
No, you did it right. Because you
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
I have a
Thank
3 in charisma and a 1
Oh, you
in
have a 3 in
animal ken.
charisma. So yeah, you would
Yeah.
have gotten an extra die.
Should I roll one extra just in
3
case?
successes.
Yeah, just roll me a die. Okay,
Sure.
3 successes, Naomi. Yeah, you managed to scoop up Casper. Not too difficult.
Hey, that's 2 successes now.
All right. Yep. Yeah. No, the mouse. Can't remember what his name is now. Damn it. It's
I
bothering me.
didn't give him a name.
He doesn't have.
I
a name,
don't-
That's
Yeah, I don't name them.
right. The mouse seems okay with the idea of going on a trip. You do know that you won't be able to give him detailed directions from a distance, so you will obviously have to go along with them if you want them to do any scout.
All right.
Now.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah. he
I
seems
let
okay with
I
the idea.
let that one climb up into my hair.
Okay.
And then I scoop some other ones up and turn back and say, "They're ready."
All right. Well, let's go load up the van, Gabriel.
We have to. How close is the van's crossing?
Here, take some.
Yeah, just
Lysander will take
Oh,
a couple
come on.
and
You're a
open...
magician. You know how to handle small animals.
No,
Lys-
it's not the small animals. It's the suddenness.
Okay.
He's still trying to
Lysander-
process what just happened.
Lysander will just look at a couple and just open up his jacket and be like, "I got some pockets free."
Hey! Yes, absolutely. I will totally give you some mice.
Yep. You've got like 3 mice in your pockets now.
I
Yep.
will.
Just be careful walking around the city like that.
As soon as Velma releases them, however, Lysander, they start to panic around you.
Really?
Oh yeah, your pockets are just like if you should drop your coat, your pockets are just going like this as they're desperately trying to claw their way out, but
Okay.
can't because of the heaviness of the fabric. You might want to
Okay.
look to that.
All right. Well,
How-
open it back up and be like, "Y'all okay?" You
Give
wanna...
me a manipulation in animal ken difficulty
Okay.
7.
Fuck, I should have put that's an animal.
How far away is the intersection?
Intersection's about a mile.
We probably want to drive there.
I want to say.
Have you said the difficulty was 7?
7, yes.
Oh, that's a bot.
Yeah,
like an
the
bite.
mice managed to crawl their way out and just bolt.
Aw, you lost them.
I put the mice back on the floor that I was handed.
I'll
Yeah,
take them.
It's
fine.
almost like animals don't like vampires that can't talk to them or don't talk to them somehow.
The van's about a mile out. We should probably take a car.
All right. Well, seeing as yours has the most space.
Fine. I will go down and open the trunk for the mice.
I carry as many as possible.
Okay. Yeah, you've probably got 4, Velma.
All right.
Including your
I can't put a
retainer.
bunch in my knitting bag or something.
With the success that you got on your Feral Whispers roll, you can get
That's
about
how many
4.
I have. All
Yeah.
right, cool.
Open the trunk. Let them get comfortable.
Oh no, I'll keep them with me. It's fine.
Okay. I put one of the shotguns in the trunk instead.
You were gonna put the shotgun in there with them anyway, weren't you?
I
That's a very dangerous situation. You should not keep loaded guns next to living things.
Definitely not. Especially mice. There's some
I
feisty
close
ones.
the trunk and I get in the driver's seat.
Welcome to our world, Gabriel. So nice of you to join us.
All right.
Turn it on. Drive.
Okay. The van is a rather garishly painted. Looks like a band probably used it at one point.
Is there a parking garage nearby?
No, there is not.
Or
There's
is
some street parking.
yeah, street parking? That's fine.
Yeah, I mean this is like a neighborhood street.
Okay. I'll park the car. Switch over to the van.
Okay. Yeah, inside it's fairly comfortable. You notice that the back half of it, because it's like a 15 passenger, is definitely covered enough. You've got about room for about 6 or 8 people in the front, and then there's a literal like a block out divider, solid metal with a little door in it. Your best guess is probably sunlight proof
Yeah, if we need to.
in case this has to be used for shelter.
Perfect.
All right. I will put the shotgun in the back.
Okay.
And I will get in the front and let them get wherever they may.
Okay.
Yeah, Lysander's probably going to be riding shotgun.
All right.
And then I will start driving
Okay.
using my phone as GPS.
Yep. Looks like you got about an hour and a half drive ahead of you. And you head south. Fairly light traffic as you go down the interstate. Not too much out this time of day. And you do notice a car pacing you for probably about 2 miles as you begin to swing past towards the southern borders of Seattle, down towards Tacoma.
Does Lysander notice that as well?
Give me a perception and alertness, difficulty 6.
Three successes, 4 fit size in the back of my head.
Yeah, you definitely see it approach.
All right.
Seems to be kind of keeping an eye on you. And then as you guys head south, it drops off on like the last Seattle exit
Okay.
and leaves the interstate.
That was interesting. Should probably keep an eye out for that again.
That was the border guard.
As you're heading south, you come across fewer and fewer cars as the traffic lightens. And eventually you cut through Tacoma and angle down 5 to the south where you see your first exit sign for Lakewood.
That's the city, right?
Yep.
GPS. I'm following the GPS, so.
Okay. As you get closer, you take your exit and start angling off towards where the map says Western State Hospital is. And it's honestly not that far off the interstate, maybe 2 or 3 miles at the most.
I had a thought as I'm
Yeah.
sitting in the back knitting. If the border guard knows that this is a Camarilla van, whoever is here might know this is a Camarilla van. Maybe we should walk in.
That's a fair point.
I agree with that.
Looking at the GPS, are there any locations, like public locations, that are within walking distance?
There's a couple parks around. There's a cemetery that's used by the hospital on the other
Not
side of the
that
road.
One.
Okay. Yep.
Whichever one the furthest, whichever one of the parks that's slightly further away.
Okay.
Not the closest one, but the next closest one.
We want the middle one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Closest one that you could get to probably would be there's a high school a little ways down the road. I mean, parking there at night may cause some attention. Otherwise, you'll have about a 3-mile walk from the next closest public area.
I mean, I could always stay with the car and make sure it looks invisible.
Can't you make that happen as we leave?
Well, yes, but not that well. Would 3 dots in fortitude allow Lysander to just wait? No, I think he would need 4 dots in chemistry to be able to just keep it there. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, he would have to have 4 dots to be able to cast permanency. He's only up at apparition.
Actually, can you make the van look like a different vehicle? Like you did back at the parking lot?
Of course I can.
Can we make it look like not a Camarilla van?
All right, what do you want it to look like?
Like an overnight RV?
Got it.
Something of similar size, but
Make sure the
Not the
license
same
plate
kind?
changes.
yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So Lysander's going to
I'll
spend.
pull into an abandoned parking lot before he does that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will spend a willpower point and a blood point.
Well, a willpower point and 2 blood points. One for Fata Morgana, and one for Apparition.
Okay.
All right. Just spent. All right.
With it looking like this, do you think we could get closer?
Who are you
Yeah,
with?
absolutely.
The van. Like, everyone in the van.
Sure.
All right.
We're noticeable, but yeah.
Drive to
Naomi,
hospital.
are you up to anything at this point?
Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Basically after they left, I was just kind of was like, I made the two people in the stupor man the phone essentially.
Okay.
Man the phone. Don't do anything particularly stupid. Actually, Alexander, make sure Isla doesn't do anything particularly stupid.
He gives you kind of an acknowledging wave, but doesn't say anything. Still definitely lost in thought.
Tap Isla's head one more time, and go into my room and try and do that thing I did before again.
Okay.
Because I don't need to leave the city.
All right. So you are going to roll. Let me figure out what the dice pool is again. All right. You will spend a point of willpower and make a perception and awareness roll. Difficulty 8.
Is this reduced by my auspex or no?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. What's 8 minus 5, guys?
3.
Thanks. 5 successes.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So yeah, once again, you lay down on your bed and let your consciousness just fall down. And once again, even though you know what time of night it is, you land in that pool of sunlight. I need a courage roll, difficulty 6.
Oh, that's my conscience. My courage is 3 successes.
Yeah. So you're prepared this time, although you definitely weren't expecting it. But now that you're in the same situation, you kind of remember. Your little friends are already there,
Okay.
kind of buzzing around you a little bit. Those vaguely unintelligible, psychotic whispers still murmuring just on the edge of audibility. And as you glance out the window, still no sun in the sky, still just a very prominent, large, blaring moon. A little fuller than just the crescent it was before. Still not to half quite yet, though. And Seattle around you, or at least an impression of Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Still that looming spiderweb encrusted Space Needle that definitely forms the most dominant feature on the landscape. More or less the impression of buildings. And you are back in whatever dimension this might be.
All right. First question: can I get to Green Lake without crossing over the puppy territory?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Then I'm gonna do.
Yeah. No, the
Going there
the
first,
purported
seeing
werewolf
if I can
territory
just-
is the far east of the city.
Yeah,
Green
I
Lake is
thought it
north.
was out of the way. I just wanted to
Yeah.
be absolutely sure because
Yep.
she's superstitious and there's a moon in the sky, so she's particularly likely to avoid that.
That's fair. So yeah, you burn your way north, And Green Lake is there, much wilder and more overgrown than you anticipated it being. And you're pretty sure it's taking up more space. Like literally, the roads that surround the park are there, but they're far more spread out and far more diminished. And there's just a ton of dense, almost old growth plant life that seems to be surrounding this blue lagoon like oasis in the middle of the cityscape. Still a fair bit of spider webs stretching between the trees and things, seemingly sort of constricting them into growing more straight and erect than you would have anticipated natural growth woodlands to be.
Not quite sure how to interpret the spider webs. Step one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for birds, particularly for crows.
Okay. Give me a perception and awareness roll, difficulty 8, reduced as needed.
That makes it. Six successes.
Okay. As you're looking around, there are a few crow-like figures perched in these trees. They're a little bigger than normal crows are. You see a few of them kind of shift or kind of adjust their folded wings. You're pretty sure most of them have 4 wings. And you're definitely aware of the fact that they don't have regular eyes. Give me an intelligence and academics roll, difficulty 6.
That's a botch.
Okay. Yeah, as you're looking, they've got far too many eyes. That's the main thing you notice.
Okay.
Like 4 wings is a couple wings too many. 8 eyes is a lot of eyes too many.
Okay, so you said a few crows, but number of crows, does it feel related or no?
Actually, possibly. Give me a wits and occult, difficulty 7.
2 successes.
7 crows.
Okay, that feels somewhat relevant.
And as you're looking around to make sure you didn't miscount, you see that several of the trees, you're not a very natural history type individual too much. It's not one of your main concentrations. But you do know that broadleaf trees of this size should not have thorns on them, generally speaking.
Okay.
But these do. And there's 3 other crows that are definitely dead, having been impaled through the neck on the trees.
Does it seem like the trees were defending themselves or attacking things?
Neither, particularly.
Oh.
It seems like something killed these crows and stuck them on the trees.
Now I'm
Hang on,
looking
I've
for
got to
signs.
I've got to fix cameras real quick.
Oh, okay.
I mean, keep talking, but just know that I've got to fix cameras.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for signs of the preparation for corruption or the creeping of imminent corruption.
Okay.
This place seems natural. Then Seems like wild and city is a bit of a theme. Does it seem like the city might be preparing to overtake this wilderness or something?
Okay. Give me a perception and a wits and awareness. Or sorry, alertness. No, awareness. I'll get it right one of these times. Give me a wits and awareness. Difficulty 8.
1 success.
Not that you can tell.
Okay.
Nothing really jumps out at you like that. I mean, the fact that you've got a total of 10 crows, weird crows, but definitely something crow-like, and 7 of them are alive, makes you think something of significance.
Right. Well, I'm going to spend a minute or two watching this place, seeing if it moves, if it shifts, if it changes.
There are a number of changes that you'll observe. You don't feel any breeze, but the trees sometimes occasionally sway as if moved by a imperceptible current of air. The crows tend to stay in a flock. Sometimes they'll rise all in unison and fly to another section and perch somewhere else. The living ones, anyway. The dead ones stay where they are.
Good clarification, thanks.
No problem.
Always worth clarifying.
Sometimes
we are undead, so
yeah.
Sometimes there's a small eddy in the pool itself.
Get him out. He can't swim.
And as the water surface is disturbed by something underneath, possibly that you can't see, and the moon is reflected twice in the surface of the water. You have no idea what that might mean.
Like a broken mirror? Or not at all?
Not too similarly, no. Because like when something's fractured in a mirror, you can usually see it partly disjointed, but on either side of the crack. This one, there are two very distinct and separate moons.
That's what I was trying to clarify.
But yeah, no.
Gonna...
And your little geometric whispery friends tend to stick fairly close by you.
All right, I'm going to do a stupid. I'm going to sort of float down to one of the dead crows.
Okay.
And I'm going to reach out towards it, see if I can touch it, make contact.
All right. So you take your hand and you reach outward. Give me a wits and brawl, difficulty 6. Because fantastic thing, when you're on the astral plane, none of your physical attributes matter anymore.
3 successes.
3? Okay. And your fingers sink into it. It has an oily, greasy texture and reminds you of a piece of rotting fruit.
All right. I'm gonna cast. I believe it's called Spirit's Touch. I need to look up the exact rules. The one that lets me see sort of the psychic imprint of things.
Okay.
And it worked on a corpse of a human, so I'm guessing it'll work on the corpse of a crow.
All right.
Or Naomi is guessing. It's a reasonable assumption.
Perception and empathy, reduced as needed. Difficulty 9.
And this is obviously not a sight thing, so 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 successes.
So you reach out and having, sort of sunk your fingers into this kind of putrescently textured object that may be an actual animal, might not be, hard to tell. You don't know a lot about this place. And you just push the essence of your awareness into it as best you can. And you're immediately overwhelmed by a staggering distance of age and essence and intrinsic natural belonging. This thing has a connection with the world around it that you have never felt on the physical plane. It's a very strange, disorienting impulse that you're getting off of this thing, and pushing back. You don't know how long this thing has been here, but the one thing you're able to tell is that this is how it manifested. Whatever beginning it had, it began as a dead crow pinned to the trunk of whatever weird astral tree this thing is.
Okay.
It's almost like, yeah, it's not that it was alive and was killed and placed here. It's almost like a very slowly ripening poisonous fruit.
Right. When the crows move, do I recognize the places they're moving to, or when I was observing?
They just move from tree to tree.
Okay. It wasn't like, oh, hey, murder site 1, murder site 2.
No, everything's staying still in this very localized Green Lake representative sort of area.
Having done that, I'm going to go and fly up to one of the living crows, see if it even notices me.
They do notice you, yeah. It's very akin to what you remember when you were alive and you would approach a suspicious animal. Not necessarily a wild animal, but more like a suspicious domesticated animal. You know, they shy away, and a couple of them start to hop along the branch, and then the entire flock takes wing again and moves maybe 2 or 3 branches away. Not to the extent that a group of actual crows would have flown away, you know, probably much further distant, but they don't seem to want to be near you.
Okay. Naomi's gonna do the approximation of perching or leaning on that branch that isn't really necessary because she can float.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to talk. Damn it, I should have brought Velma.
One of them blinks half of its eyes at you.
Can I make it empathy?
Yeah. Wits and empathy. Difficulty 8.
1 success.
Yeah, you're not familiar with animal body language. These things don't appear to have a commensurate level of intelligence. They seem to be very crow-like, albeit oddly structured, and fairly braver than natural animals would be.
All right. Given that, Naomi's going to...
Give me a wits and awareness difficulty 7.
There's an error with your formula. Try again. 2 successes.
You're still feeling it's much fainter than it was before and very easy to resist, but you're still feeling that pull south. Seems to be about the same direction, but far reduced in intensity.
Well, I've done what I can here. And I'll shoot off in that direction. And I'd like for this to segue away from me because I have to go deal with something.
All right. So Naomi's shooting south. You guys are in an illusionary van, parked somewhere near Western State Hospital. And we need to adjust cameras again.
Hey.
All right.
Hey.
Perfect timing, sir.
Yeah.
I had to drop somebody off. It was close, but
And I do a thing.
so what did I miss? Did I die?
No.
Nope.
Entirely Naomi while you're on.
Naomi went on a spirit walk.
Okay. Wait, are we on break?
No.
No.
I'm adjusting on the
Oh,
fly.
okay.
He's just
Got
adjusting
it.
for camera distributions.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Because I need to. It's all right.
There I go.
So, yes, I would think we're park as close as we can now that the van is
Disguised did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was,
So, yeah,
was a very
it's-
good observation that, hey, they might see us and know that we're...
It's about 2 a.m. You've probably got about 3 hours of darkness left.
All right. So
What's the plan?
No time to lose.
Yeah, with that, speaking in the van. All right, so let's try to keep it as close to an hour
On
as
road there.
possible, so that we can get back with plenty of time, and not be away from the boundaries too long. How long do you think it would take for your friends to go into the hospital from here?
I don't know. Let's find out. And I am going to bite my hand to get some blood going so that
Okay.
I can talk to them again. Give
All
them
right.
some incentive.
Okay. So how much are you feeding and how many?
There are 4 of them.
Yes.
Hmm. Would this be like measured in blood pool? That's what I'm
Yes.
feeding them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Since they're mice,
Yeah.
and because I'm doing this on the fly, and because I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about balancing this for a long-term game, because you guys are
Mhm.
approaching the end of this story,
Yep.
I'm going to say if you want to ghoul up an individual mouse, like one of them is already a ghoul for you, each additional will need 1 blood point total.
Okay. So it'd be 1 for each of them, basically.
1 for each one that you want to ghoul up.
So
Yep.
the other 3, yeah.
Right.
Okay. 4.
No, you'd only need to spend 3 because one of them's already a ghoul.
Okay,
And you've
got
got
it.
3 other ones.
I'll spend 3 then. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll fill them all up.
Okay. So you watch a rather disturbing sight as
Mhm.
these small prey rodents that are actually still kind of cute
Aw.
suddenly start surprisingly lapping up blood out of the palm of this hideous vampire that you have sitting in your back seat. And their eyes just blaze over red. Their form kind of swells up just incrementally, slightly, to where now their bodies are about the size of a human fist. And they still are structured like mice, but they're definitely probably the badassest mice you've seen in a very long time. These are mice that will mug you in an alley and take your lunch money.
Yep. Ah. They're adorable.
Mice got swole.
Yep.
Yep.
I think they'll be a lot faster now. Do I have any idea how long it'll take them to like? How big?
As-
This is a fairly big hospital, right?
It is extremely large.
Yeah.
It's about 8 stories tall. And it sprawls like
Mhm.
like an old Victorian barracks almost. in that sort of line. There's a long, crookedly angled center structure with
Mhm.
multiple wings coming off of it at various locations and intersections.
Hold on just a moment. I want to auspex read the building and see if anything stands out.
Okay. Give me a. Like, are you trying to use aura perception or what?
Yeah.
You can do that on beings. You can't do that on objects.
All right. I keep forgetting that you can't see through walls with that.
You should
And
do it on a crowd if there is one.
Yeah.
right, but it has to be a crowd of living beings. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you might be able to gauge a faint sort of bleed through if somebody has a particularly strong aura on the side of the building that you're looking through and is close to a window. But other than that, you
Alright.
probably wouldn't get very much.
Yeah, then I'm not gonna do much. We need to look for sign of vampiric activity within the building.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that narrows
I-
it down for your mice or not.
Well, we know that they were in. Well, no, she wouldn't be able to. Just so I can clarify, Isla, wasn't able to tell us about the basement, right? So we don't know
No,
exactly
You
where
have
they are.
no idea. Right.
just
The
know-
only thing that Isla
Okay.
knew about this place was that the name of it was on a bag of blood that she
Mhm.
drank out of.
Okay. In that case, they should just search.
Well,
We
actually,
should set up a search pattern.
we were we told that it was on a bag of blood specifically?
No, I don't think she told you that specifically. That's
Okay.
just what
No, I
she
think
knows.
she just recognized the name.
She just mentioned the name. Yeah.
I should also probably clarify that no one actually asked why Naomi had this inclination other than that she did. So,
Yeah, pretty sure you guys are down here on very light intel.
I mean,
It-
Oh yeah.
yeah, she said needle
but
monster.
you are getting right, yeah, but you are getting independent instances of this thing's name from two separate parties. So
Yeah.
there is that.
which is
Mhm.
basically the thing that prompted me to want to come down here.
Mhm.
Well,
For sure.
we know that if this is related at all to it, we know that they've been collecting blood. It might be worth seeing if they have a blood bank on hand.
hmm
I googled that. I did Google that, and I sent my Google findings.
Yes.
They
They have a small. It's probable that they have some level of blood storage, not like a full blown blood
Yeah.
bank, but they probably have some level of
yeah, as I,
transfusion storage.
Emergency storage for people who may have cut themselves or
as I recall, the information was vague at best. It wasn't
Mhm.
like specific.
Oh, that was my second search where I was looking
Yeah.
for personnel.
Yeah.
My first search just after my vision,
Mhm.
I got a little more.
Okay.
So we send them in to just search each of the floors,
I
and
would
they'll come back
assume-
and let us know.
I would assume yes.
All right. So what specifically, Velma, are you telling your mice?
All right, I tell them the equivalent of each of you take 2 floors, scurry along, look for someone like me, someone that smells like me, and then because I assume all vampires have like a sort of smell, if that
Okay.
is accurate, and then.
Yeah. You
If
smell
you
like a
find
corpse.
it, yeah. If you find it, call the nearest one and then investigate a bit.
Give me a manipulation and animal ken.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
All right.
Does this hospital have a morgue? Does this hospital have a morgue?
2.
Probably not.
They have a cemetery.
Well, yeah, but the cemetery is
You're muted.
elsewhere.
You're muted, Aaron. Sorry.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
I was being genuine because I didn't know if we had already determined if they had a morgue or not.
Mhm. I'm going to say no. They don't.
Okay.
All right, 2 successes. They get the gist of it. You're pretty confident.
Okay.
And you crack the door, and they dive out, and they are gone pretty quickly.
Fly, my pretties.
All right. Well then,
So you guys wait, I assume.
we'll give them an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Let me
That'd be
make some
wise.
rolls for
I guess
some
we
some
tiny
ghouled
ghoul mice.
Some full to bursting on vampire blood mice.
Mhm.
No, because genuinely it takes 3 points to make something a ghoul, but I'm pretty sure body mass comes into play there somehow. So I'm willing to say it only takes 1 point for a mouse or a small
No,
one.
the total blood they have in their body, if you suck
Right,
them dry,
it's a-
seems
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yep.
I like this.
Okay. There's 1. There's 2.
Super mice.
There's
Mhm.
3.
Out of curiosity, how many floors does this building have?
8.
You said
Oh,
8.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
why I said 2. Yeah,
so
each.
ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the minutes begin to tick by.
Mhm.
You're waiting. Half hour. 45 minutes. And right about the time that the hour mark is starting to hit, you guys hear a scritching sound up the side of the van. And
Back.
there's 2 little mice, well, 2 kind of large mice, kind of pawing at one of the windows.
Shunk.
They
I let
tumble
them
in after
in.
each other, pell-mell, scurry up to Velma, and the squeaking begins.
Uh-huh.
Give me a... Oh, no, wait. You don't have to roll to talk to them. They can just talk to you.
Oh.
You are told there are a number of people in there. There are multiple people in there that smell like you. And we found them, and we looked them over, and they are very, very sleepy, and they definitely smell wrong, like you do.
Mhm.
And they were wet, and they're up there, yeah.
How many?
More than one.
Okay,
Because mice understand one and more than one.
Okay. Cool. Wet?
And sticky.
Like water?
No blood.
Mmm. Mmm. What, high or low?
High.
High. And, there are only 2 of them back.
Yes, the others are still looking.
Okay. And do I know which ones were these, like, on the upper floors? Or were these
Not
ones on
really.
the
Hard
lower
to tell.
floors? Okay.
I mean, obviously they've been to the upper floors because they said it was up
Okay.
higher, but yeah.
All right. What else can I learn from this?
Have you been reacting out loud, by the way?
No, she's been speaking to them in
Not
speaks.
in English yet.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
No, not in English yet. I'm still let's see.
My senator is sitting there going, "What do you think they're saying?"
I have
She really doesn't want to
no
talk
clue.
to
all together or in groups?
Yes.
All together?
Yes.
Ah.
Very close.
Could you find your way back?
Yes.
Good. Anyone see you?
Don't think so. Everyone is very sleepy.
Any animals in there?
Yes. Insects and more things like us. Smaller than us, but kind of like us. Sort of like us. Dumber than us, I think.
No predators.
Maybe we didn't go looking for them.
Wise. Food? Like what I gave you? I'm asking if they noticed where blood was. Like
Not much.
because you were talking about blood bank. Blood bank.
No.
Okay. Good job. I don't think I
Yes.
have anything more to ask them.
Okay.
I tuck them back in.
All right.
Well,
They're willing to do that.
All right. They found a lot of vampires. All in one group. They had just eaten or had eaten today. And they're sleepy right now. We can attack. They're higher up in the building. And they can lead us back there.
okay.
You can also wait until the other two come back.
What did they say about people wandering the hospital? Like the attendants of the hospital or other people in the hospital?
They didn't notice them. I didn't ask them to look.
Well then. I just want to look at the hospital. Are the lights on anywhere?
There's a couple lights on, yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a very sort of after hours curfewed building, but it'll still have some lights on after hours inside, you know.
I've been in hospitals
Safety lighting.
at various points of the day. Would I have any sort of an idea of a schedule what a place like this would be? Like
Given that
when
it's a psych
shift change
ward,
might happen?
Given that it's a psych ward, you could probably guesstimate a rough time
Okay.
for a shift change, usually 15 to 20 minutes after cars start showing up in the parking lot.
Yep. Okay. Have any cars shown up while we've been sitting here for an hour?
Not really yet. No,
Okay.
not particularly.
Okay.
Well, we can go take a look. Confirm what they've found.
You don't trust them? Look at that face.
Well, no,
I
it's-
hold up the mouse to your face.
I-
Look at that. Look. Are you gonna not trust this?
It's not that I don't trust it. It's that if we can confirm with our own eyes, we can report back accurately.
That's a risk, though.
Yes, it is. But can he tell you numbers?
No. You think mice count?
No, I don't. Solid information other than a number of vampires would be more helpful. But we know they're up there. We know they're further up. Is there a fire escape or anything like on the outside of the building?
There's
that
a
I can
couple.
see?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Lysander, want to go for a climb?
Sure. Just a question for the storyteller, if you would, if since this might be the last episode, if you would allow me to, I guess, use the permanency trait to see if I can just make the illusion just stay there on the vehicle.
Yeah. No, you can do
All
that
right.
without too much trouble, I think.
Okay, cool. So I'll spend one more blood point to do that, and then be like, all right, let's go.
Well, I'm not. You're not leaving me in here.
You don't want to stay and wait for your other mice?
I mean, I can call them to come meet me in the building.
That
Maybe.
works. We can
Fair point.
come on, all three of us. Let's go.
Should we bring the extra arsenal?
Not yet.
This is how we all die. We split the party at this point.
Yeah. Hopefully,
It's vampire.
Hopefully,
Quick
it
pivot.
won't be needed.
I'm excited.
Quick pivot. So, Naomi, you jet off south, traveling at that same ridiculously accelerated rate.
Hmm.
And once again, following the now fainter but still distinct pull towards the south that seemed to be leaving you fairly closely along the same route. Until once again, you're hovering about 100, 120 feet off the ground with that hospital structure overgrown with ivy, shrouded in plant life and vines lurking just there on the ground surface beneath you.
Do I get the sense that doing the same thing would have the same result?
I mean, being a Malkavian, you're familiar with the colloquial definition of insanity. But you don't know.
Are there any sort of windows to this place or anything?
Yes, there are quite a few windows.
I'm gonna try and keep the same rough distance, but get myself at an angle where I can look in a window.
Okay. Give me a perception and awareness first. Difficulty 7. No, difficulty 8 reduced as needed.
Difficulty 8 reduced as needed. Do my awesome eyes count here? I'm not actually sure.
Not really, no. It's a physical merit, so that doesn't actually function.
8 minus 5 is 3.
Mhm.
Great. Five successes.
Okay.
6 if it's 6 if it's tactical. Yes. Sorry.
So you kind of reorient yourself, trying to get a decent look, and as you do, you start to notice, just as you're scanning over the area, there are a number of crows here as well.
All right.
They're
By a
located-
number,
They're located in individual trees. The trees here are not nearly as rigidly structured and restrained by the spider webs. There's still some spider webs, but not quite as many. These bend at more natural angles. However, they're spaced further apart than the ones were up at the Green Lake reflection area. But once again, groups of 7 in each tree that has crows in it.
any dead crows or spawned as dead?
Yes, and in each tree again, groups of 3 dead on thorns.
Hmm.
Gabriel discounting the lake makes him stupid. Naomi says to no one, mostly because she can talk now. He's too afraid that his own paragons will be destroyed. Can I look in the window?
Yeah. So from a distance, and given that you're taking more time now, because last time you were here, you pretty much just flew right down,
Yep.
saw the sign, and then started to go forward, and then Needle Monster. Now that you're sort of taking your time to orient yourself, your little fractal friends, you left far in your wake once you left Seattle. You're starting to attract more, though. These are larger, and there's a lot more of them. And every so often, one will pop out of a window and come and start to slowly and very erratically orbit you. The whispers now are a little more intelligible. And you can tell the ravings of a madman when you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And each of them has their own flavor. But they're definitely, whatever these things are, if they have a mind, it is even more fragmented and fractured than yours is.
Do any of their stories seem to fit what I'm looking for?
What specifically are you looking for?
vampiric influence, blood rituals, Green Lake, murders that drained people of their blood, any of the people from those murders.
There are whispers of violence, whispers of needing to either defend themselves from violence, real or imagined, or need to inflict violence on others, either from compulsion or a displaced need to protect themselves by killing or harming other people or other things. There's some disjointed fragments that seem to speak of outside powers that influence or control. Nothing that really rings a bell or seems terribly on point. Seems a little bit more of a severe but mundane delusion.
If I scoot, will the I'm not getting closer to the building at this point, but will the fractal things follow me?
They generally do. They seem to be drawn to you.
I'm gonna see if I can
kind of an iron filings and magnet without them actually attaching.
I'm gonna see if I can take my little orbiting planetoids and bring them over to one of the dead crows.
Okay.
See if the crow responds to them or they respond to the crow.
Perception and alertness first for looking through the window. Difficulty 7 reduced as needed.
8 successes, 10 if it's tactical.
Okay. And were you looking for anything particular or just trying to see inside?
I want to see what's inside.
Okay.
I'm expecting the possibility of a giant needle monster, but I figure that would be included in things that would be inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So as you're looking in from a distance, the interior actually seems fairly well defined. Unlike the building that was your apartment building back in Seattle, where it was pretty much just an empty box in the rough shape. This one, you can see floors. You can see some level of illumination in there. These little fractal entities zipping up and down and through walls and ceilings and windows. Some going out for a bit and dipping back into the building. And for a brief moment, you see what looks like a section of the needle monster just barrel down a hallway and take a turn very sharply. Kind of like the smoke monster on Lost, honestly. And then vanish deeper into the guts and interior of the building somewhere. There's a low-level silence that permeates the exterior of the building, but from inside you can hear faint wails and cries coming out on very irregular frequencies. Some of them pitched much lower or higher than you'd expect from a living being.
All right. Given that, I'm gonna try and see if I can make the little orbiting things and the crow interact in any way.
Okay. So you drift down towards one of the crow trees. The mobile ones again shift to a branch a little further removed from you. Your fractals don't seem interested in the crows.
Okay. I just had a thought. So there's 3 dead crows. Given the way the trees are essentially laid out, does it seem like the other crows might have initially come into the world dead and then come to life?
Give me a perception and investigation, difficulty 9, reduced as needed.
Five successes.
Damn.
Nice.
Okay.
Difficulty 9 is difficulty 4 for me.
Right. But still, 5 successes on 6 dice, even if difficulty 4 is impressive. You kind of circle the tree, no longer governed by gravity, obviously, so you can pretty much pick your angle and altitude wherever you want. And as you look around, you definitely see that there are far more than 10 thorns on this tree.
Yeah.
And some of them are larger and some of them are smaller. But you start to notice on this tree. There's a thorn that is a little misshapen and scarred around the base slightly, and there's 4 little runlets of some sort of dark looking either sap or liquid kind of running out of it. And then you
Does it
shift
look
to
like
another
blood at
side.
all?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard
Okay.
to tell. You don't know. I mean, this thing is like, the one that you touched felt more like a rotten piece of fruit. So it doesn't seem to have that sort of same, circulatory system, internal bodily fluids kind of thing. So this might just be sap or something. But I mean, visually, maybe it might resemble blood in some manner
Alright.
or whatever. And then you change your angle, and there's another one with 1 drop. And then you look around the other side, and there's one with 6. And then there's one with 2.
Gonna go up to probably the 6 or 7 one if I can find it.
You can find one with 6 and one with 7.
1 with 7 then.
Mhm.
Touch the drops.
Okay.
I mean, as much as I can.
Right. Yeah, no, your hand reaches out and it does contact it. It's kind of got that texture of dried sap where it's still kind of gooey inside, but it's definitely hard on the outside. A little bit of tackiness to it, a little bit of stiffness.
Gonna do the
Spirit's touch again.
Yep.
Okay.
not spending for an auto success because I probably have more important things to do later.
No problem. So that's perception and empathy, difficulty 9, reduced as needed.
Two successes.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely the sense that there was a crow here, and then something happened, and it pulled itself off the thorn and is probably now perched on a branch right there. Not sure which one, but... And something
Okay.
definitely happened. Like, if you're getting this idea that there was some inciting incident that made that crow do that.
So Naomi can't normally speak, so you can tell me if this isn't something she can do or that she can attempt but might fail. She's going to try and sing because 8 for a song.
Okay. Give me a charisma and expression roll, difficulty 6.
One success.
Okay. So just whatever song first comes to mind, Naomi opens her mouth and begins to sing.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word.
And immediately, all the crows, their faces turn and just lock on you for as long as you continue singing. None of the dead ones move or react, but the 7 living ones in each tree are just staring straight at you until the song ends, and then their demeanor goes back towards much more of that pseudo-natural bird behavior-esque kind of thing that they've been doing recently.
You are really unhelpful, initially animated. Wonder if Velma's even here yet. Probably can't get to her from this side.
And shifting back. So you guys are crawling up a fire escape, yes?
I want, as we're moving up, I want to take a moment to stop and smell and see if I can find the smell of blood.
All right. Give me a perception and alertness, difficulty 9, reduced as needed.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
Lord have mercy.
Oh.
2 successes, I would say 4 if it's eyes in the back of my head, but it's probably not.
No, it's smell.
Yeah, it's
3 successes.
Okay. Lysander, you're trying to inhale, which is not something you do very frequently, unless there's a cigarette involved. And you're not picking up anything particular. I mean, there's a faint residue of blood from Velma, but she just ghouled 3 mice an hour ago, so probably that. Gabriel, you're picking up
I am using my
that
Auspex,
off
by
of
the way.
Velma as well. Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, no, there's another scent of blood coming from somewhere inside the building. Not terribly close, and honestly, if it wasn't for Auspex, you probably wouldn't pick it up at all.
Yeah.
Because this place is locked down tight from the outside, but there's apparently just enough ventilation being expelled to the exterior somewhere up over your head from the roof that you're able to pick up just the faintest hint, not enough to pinpoint anywhere where it might be inside, just that it's probably coming from inside.
So I want to lock onto that smell. Just keep my awareness on it as we climb.
Okay.
And then seeing if I can match that smell to a sight in any windows we pass.
You're not smelling it coming from the windows. You're smelling it coming from the roof, because that's where the ventilation lets loose.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if while looking through the windows, if I see mortuary or blood bank or dead bodies or anything that might key in where that smell may be coming from as we climb.
Give me a perception and alertness difficulty 9 again, reduced as needed.
Difficulty not pull mod.
Yep.
One success.
Okay. Yeah, as you're going up, you can't see any signage from inside the building. Everything is an exterior window, and this seems to be more of a residential kind of wing. You're seeing individuals in beds through the occasional window, obviously heavily barred and not meant to be opened. Yeah. At least not from the inside without emergency notifications going off. Yeah, you're not picking up any particular hints or clues that way.
Okay. Maintaining a lock on that smell. We could probably get in through the rooftop. I say to the 2 on the ladder with me.
All right.
What'd you say? You cut out.
Oh,
for me.
We can probably get into the rooftop, and I can smell blood. Not from you, from inside.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, the fire escape will lead up to the 8th floor, and end at basically an exterior doorway.
Mm-hmm. Is that smell any
the
stronger
door
up here?
Yeah.
I mean, as you're getting higher, it's getting stronger because you're getting closer to the ventilation. Yeah.
All right. Is this door like an electronic lock or a physical lock?
Electronic.
Is there a handle on the outside or not?
No, there is not.
I've dealt with electronic locks before.
Yes, you have. This one, however, looks like there's not really any sort of access port. This is an emergency exit only door. This is not something that was ever even meant to swing inwards. So there's not really anything on the exterior. I mean, it's obviously a door, but there's little to no windows or anything like. Actually, no. Even just in case of fire response, there would be like a small, narrow, vertical, reinforced glass window.
Thelma, can you try and see if your mice can chew up some wires, maybe from the inside?
Yeah, or we could just punch through the door.
Or can I get to the roof?
With some creative athletics, probably, yeah.
Okay.
What's the area around the door? Is it brick? Is it wood?
It's brick.
Okay. No, they're not heavy enough.
Yeah. If I could try to get up on the roof.
Okay, give me a strength and athletics difficulty 6.
4 successes.
Jump, pull, lean, and you're on the roof. It's got a pretty steep slope to it, but you're on there.
Is there any sort of rooftop entrance or access I can see?
Not currently, no. You can see the air vents. They're those like kind of globe spinny ones,
Yeah. Do I imagine I could fit through one? Probably not.
They're fairly large. If there's no internal obstruction, you could probably get in one. Don't know how far it would take you and if it would support your weight really that much while you're inside it, but
yeah, that's the question. If I could get into like an interior hallway, I could open the door for them.
Yeah. Can see.
I'll lean over the edge of the roof. I'll see if I can get inside and open the door. Keep an ear out.
Sure. I'm just biding my time.
Okay.
Until you need help.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Lysander's actually going to climb up to the roof as well, just to try to get like a better vantage point and just keep an ear out, just in case anything.
Strength and athletics difficulty 6.
I'm going to try to climb a little bit further up the roof and see if there's another entrance other than an air vent, and if there isn't, I'll move over to
What? 0 successes.
You are
not a botch, though.
Hanging in chin up position with your feet about 6 inches off the ground.
Gabriel, help!
You can roll again.
Okay.
This is more of an extended roll sort of circumstance than a.
It's 5 successes.
So yeah, now that you're in position, you're just like, all right, and kip up, roll, click.
It would have been hilarious if you had botched on the second try.
That would have been funny.
Fall off
You
the
fell.
Whee!
Lysander kind of like throws himself up, gets into like a Spider-Man pose in midair, and then just like lands.
Yep.
Well, I'm
with your back toe in
here.
a gutter to stabilize yourself. Yep.
All right.
I'm here on the outside
yeah.
before we maybe go into stealth mode inside, because I don't think I want to make noise when we're inside. I'd probably try and call again to let the other 2 mice that are still somewhere in there. I'm here. I'm up.
Okay.
At top. Find me.
All right. Give me a charisma and survival difficulty 6.
Okay.
Yeah, Lysander's gonna pull out one of his pistols and he's gonna hand it to Gabriel. It's just gonna just in case you need this.
I open my coat to show my holstered pistol.
Just trying to be nice, God.
I mean,
Just put it back.
I appreciate the gesture, but I'm already got one.
Sure.
So yeah, you give the call, Velma.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nothing responds.
Okay.
They could
I
be
didn't
dead.
expect them to respond. I'm just letting them know. In case they're there somewhere.
Yep.
So if there's
That's why I
no
have
other,
4 extra.
yeah, there's no other entrance. One in an air vent.
Yep. Yeah. No. You look around. You don't see any others. So.
Fortunately, I'm already dead.
Give me a strength and athletics difficulty 7 this time.
Bust through the thing into somebody's room. 3 successes.
You are able to manage without damaging yourself too much to lift the rotating fan unit off the air vent so that it's just straight down. There's a pretty hefty stream of ventilated interior air conditioning coming out at you. Kind of warmish.
And is that blood smell coming strong from it?
You can smell a bit of it, yeah. I mean, it's not like, oh, it's only coming out of this one and not out of any of the other one, but it's there. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna shimmy down.
Okay, give me dexterity and athletics, difficulty 8, and please botch.
I'm not pumping blood.
I know.
2 successes.
I'm excited. Oh.
2 successes.
I've
All
got
right.
good dex.
Yep, you do. So yeah, you start chimneying your way down. And you make it probably a good 10 feet with your first attempt. You still got a little ways to go. And as you're pushing against the metal of this air vent, it's definitely buckling a little bit outward with the amount of lateral pressure you're putting on it.
Yeah.
This thing is not like support human weight sturdy.
No.
At least not for long.
I'm hoping just to not punch a hole in it.
Okay.
Or to fall and ruin the element of surprise.
Right. Dexterity and athletics, difficulty 8 again then.
1 success.
All right, so you get a little more ways down, and you've made some more progress, but you're starting to get off angle a little bit. Starting to feel like you might get yourself stuck if you're not careful.
All right.
Third roll.
What was it? It was 8? Yeah.
8. Mm-hmm.
1 success.
Okay. You are about 12 inches from the bottom of this vent. You can just barely see. It is dark in this thing. And you're pretty sure, based on how you're feeling the airflow around you, and moving in the dark and enclosed spaces is a thing that magicians generally have to be at least fairly competent at.
Yep.
You're thinking you're maybe 3 or 4 feet from the bottom when this thing is going to level out and start running horizontally rather than vertically.
Okay.
And that's when you hear a rivet go ping.
Is there an exit to this vent nearby?
Not that you can see or feel.
I continue to move
All right.
quickly
One more roll.
and with purpose.
Patch, 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 patch.
Stop it.
Alright.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Yeah.
See, I helped.
So, with one last move, your foot hits the bottom. And you give it a very, very experimental shift of your weight to take the weight off of, the pressure that you're putting on the outside and just see if this thing will support you. It most definitely does not. It cracks open a little bit and your foot slides out, but hits something much sturdier and more solid down in the interior of this, wherever on the interior of this building you are. And as the vent kind of cracks open and the wiring that was holding it up and the rivets that were holding it together kind of give way under your full weight, you do see a little bit of light leaking through. You're apparently above a drop ceiling somewhere with maybe about 4 or 5 feet of clearance between whatever support beam your foot is now resting on and the actual ceiling itself.
All right. I would like to extricate myself from the air vent via support beam.
Okay. Dexterity and athletics again, difficulty 9 this time because it's a very awkward angle and you don't really have a good grip.
Yep.
And you can't spend a willpower for an auto success on this one.
Okay. Not difficulty 69, difficulty 9.
Yep.
Botch!
All right. There it is.
There's the botch.
Yep. So you kind of shimmy your foot along, trying to navigate the awkward edge of this kind of off kilter air vent, and you go down to reach it, and it's just out of reach, and you try and do that quick let go and shift my weight to this. Not a chance. You fall. Bam! Straight through a drop ceiling into a hallway, having knocked off kilter at least one fluorescent light inset. And there's the broken remains of a ceiling tile and some wire and insulation that followed you down.
I'm gonna let them assume
Good
that
news
was a raccoon.
is no one's going to believe the crazy people when they say the vent fell.
Yep.
Because no one listens to neurotypical people.
I'm gonna let
It's true.
them think that was a raccoon. All right. Am I in the fire escape hallway?
You are in a hallway. You're not entirely sure which hallway.
Dust myself off. Did I lose track of that scent while I was in the air vent, or do I still have it?
You still have it.
All right. Does it have any sort of a directionality now?
Definitely on a floor below you somewhere.
Okay. Just want to take.
And you do see an exit sign.
I want to follow to that exit sign and see if I can see if it's the door.
It takes you about 2 intersections because there's multiple of them,
Yeah.
marked for emergency exits. But you do eventually find that door
All right. Does
with
it
Velma kind of looking in from the outside.
look like it's the kind of emergency exit door that sounds an alarm when you open it, or not?
Definitely.
Definitely. All right. Can I
Definitely, yes.
disable that alarm?
Possibly. Give me a wits and larceny difficulty 8.
Welcome to psych wards. They don't
Yep.
want you to leave ever.
No, it's true. Well, my wits are good. My larceny's not. Can I spend a willpower point for not a success on this? All right.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
It will take you five successes without a botch if you want to get this open.
Difficulty. What was it?
Difficulty 8.
Ooh.
3
So
successes.
that's 3. All right. So yeah. So you find the you kind of look at the setup. There is a emergency alarm and some wiring. You start to follow those back towards where they trip things. Give me another one of those rolls. Difficulty 8 again.
3 successes.
All right. You follow those. You find the right wire. Disconnect it. There's a faint little spark, and you hold your breath, but nothing sounds and no lights start flashing. You're pretty sure it's disabled.
Ka-chunk.
And there's Velma.
You took a while.
Air vents are
Thanks for
uncomfortable.
opening the door. You should always open doors for ladies.
You're welcome.
And I hadn't.
Lysander,
There was a raccoon.
there was a raccoon in an air vent, and I'm not going to get into it.
So, Lysander, you hear
Coming.
your name called from where you're standing on top.
Yeah, coming. I'm gonna head down.
As Lysander heads down, I'm gonna put the mice down like at floor level so they would recognize like what they're looking at and be like, were there people who smell like me here or somewhere else?
Somewhere else. Lower.
Lower. Thanks.
Once Lysander's in,
It's
I-
lower.
yes, I can smell the blood further downstairs. Let's go downstairs quietly and move.
All right. Give me dexterity and stealth rolls, everybody. Difficulty 6.
Okay. You're rolling very slowly. There we go. Dexterity. Oh, what's my dexterity? I think that one's
5
broken.
successes.
4 successes.
Nice. Y'all are
4?
ninjas.
There we go.
That's why I'm a rogue, baby.
Ma'am, it's kind of my job to move quietly.
Yeah, I did that the last time before I almost got my chest ripped open by a crazy boy with hair with hair and ears. Remember that? When I had to lay in the coffin for like a week.
Difficulty 6, right?
Yes.
Or 7? Yeah. Okay.
6.
Cool. 6. I don't know if it's just stalling. Try that again. There we go. I got 1 success.
Okay. So you guys are moving as quietly as possible. Velma is trying to be quiet, but also keeping up a verbal line of encouraging commentary to her mice.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sounds very much like mice squeaking. So somebody might be able to hear Velma, but if they don't take the time to look out and try and see the mice, they probably won't necessarily think, oh, it's 3 grown people moving through our hallway. But you guys begin to maneuver. Give me a perception and investigation, Gabriel. Difficulty 7, since you've got the scent pretty well.
Right, and Auspex still applies.
Yes, reduced as needed.
Can Lysander just make a roll to just keep his senses open?
Yep. Perception and alertness difficulty 6.
Alright.
3 successes.
2 successes.
All right. So Lysander's just trying to keep an eye out, make sure that you don't run into any orderlies making their rounds or anything like that, while Gabriel is focused in bloodhounding on this. And you go down a set of stairs, and then another set of stairs, and you find yourself walking down a hallway. And the interior is surprisingly easy to navigate. There aren't a lot of checkpoints on this wing. There aren't a lot of gates on the inside, which is kind of surprising to you. But you know, you're not completely familiar with how the standards of treatment and design are listed in places like this. Velma, you've got some background in hospitals, so it's a little more odd to you because you would expect more interior security. Their exterior security seemed about up to code and what you definitely expect from a place like this. But inside, it seems like there's a little more freedom of movement than you would have anticipated.
If there are signs inside, like directories, I'd be looking at those because I don't know, like just to see if there are any spots where there is a conspicuous something that doesn't seem to belong. Like, because if there's a group of vampires holed up in here somewhere, then they have to be somewhere, and presumably they need to keep it like a little bit separated out from everything, just so that someone doesn't accidentally see too much, like a normal person.
Right.
So
yeah. And as you're looking around, you're not noticing much in the way of signage. I mean, most of it is, you know, residential wing, you know, 7A, you know, or things like that. You know, sort of this seems to be where patients that are in the ward here for long term are designated. You know, there's a number of rows, all of, you know, with very well secured security doors, but the hallways seem to be fairly easily traversable. And then Gabriel, you're starting to pick up on that stronger tang of blood. And you navigate down a few side halls after you get off the stairs. Take a couple turns down passages until you come to a doorway. One of what seems like a residential ward doorway, and you could almost guarantee that the smell of blood is coming from the other side of it.
Is there like a sliding window latch on it?
Yes, there is. And it's pitch dark inside. You can't make out anything. There's a very faint little bit of light coming behind you, and it sort of beams just dimly on the opposite wall, but you don't see anything.
Is the door locked?
Currently, yes.
Is it a conventional lock or electronic lock?
Conventional.
Did
Lockpicks.
any of the other doors, like if we've seen doors like this from the other side, like leading into other areas of the hospital, would this be alarmed?
No, this looks like a patient's room.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna take so long. We don't have that much time.
Dexterity and larceny, difficulty 7. You need 3.
I'm still not exactly sure what we're doing here.
2 successes. Does it
We're gonna
count
get
as sleight
ourselves
of hand?
killed.
Does
It's gonna be great.
picking a lock count as sleight of hand?
No, it doesn't. Roll me again. See if you can get that third one before you botch.
What was the difficulty? 7?
7. Yep.
Third success.
All right. So, yep. After about 30 seconds, click, lock, flips past. You turn the doorknob.
Open it up.
Open it up. Still very dark inside. You think you know where the light switch would be.
Flick.
And there before you, 6 corpses all with marks and trailing blood, on the 6th floor of the asylum. And that's where we're going to leave it for the night.
Alrighty, well then, we have been Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page. And you can also find more content on our website at finalshowfilms.com. Patreon page is patreon.com/fsfilms. We thank all of our patrons, especially our $25 tier supporters, Chris Comfort, Antitonic, and Cat Waterflame. Speaking of Cat, thank you for the 155 bits in chat, Cat.
Yeah, cat bits!
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We also appreciate our subscribers. We have 3 new subscribers on the channel: Antitonic, Traco Gamer, and Cat Waterflame. So thank you to all of our channel subscribers. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also support us by subscribing on Twitch, because we are Twitch affiliates, and we now accept subscribers as well as bits. So if you get a Twitch Prime free subscription and you want to support us and you don't necessarily have the money to do so, you can throw that Prime subscription our way. We appreciate all of our supporters. Thank you guys very much. Thanks to you, we are currently past our goal of $100 a month, which gets our podcast out in separate feeds. The next goal is $500 a month, which is going to get Jack a more permanent job as an audio engineer for us. Also, thanks to you guys' support. Tomorrow we should be getting a new soundboard for our new streaming studio that we're putting together here in Georgia for the Sunday crew.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have an actual streaming studio. It's going to be great. So thanks a lot. And if you're still watching and you're still in the mood for more D&D tonight, or for more tabletop RPG tonight, in about 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Three?
No, 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. It's 10 o'clock. 2.5 hours we start.
We never get this time clear.
Yeah, in 2.5 hours, I start my game with a couple of these people for the Constitution Check charity stream over at twitch.tv/Constitution.
Good times.
We're going to have a 4-hour Water Davian Nights game. We're going to be running through the day in the life of the Waterdeep City Guard. So if you're interested in that, come on over. I have to go get dinner and then come back and produce overlays for that. So I have a busy night ahead of me. But thank you all for watching. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, flamingos may have wings, but they don't fly distances. Have yourself a good night.
That was smooth as fuck.
I mean,
You said flamingos.
Flamingos also don't fly distances.
Yeah, they do. They're migratory.
Yeah.
I said peacocks, but
Yeah,
No, you
know
said
what?
flamingos.
No. Naomi did say peacocks. Anyways,
She did say
I think
peacock. Wow. Bye,
I
guys.
think she
Bye.
said
Bye.
Maybe.
Bird.
I
Something.
definitely
I don't
said
know.
peacocks because that's
You
a
definitely
running
said
meme.
peacocks.
Or
Yes.